without a trace, but battalions of 1845, they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat, whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the lion runs do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell, come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Tell us how you slew them all Arabs 2 by 2, like the Zulus they had knives, bows and arrows. Of how brave you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. What's the haps? Are we well? I am well. I thank you for asking. What are you up to? What are we up to in chat? So that's 2 UK leftist streamers that your party have pissed off in at least my estimation. I wonder what other leftists they've pissed off. Great stream section, by the way, Kev. Thank you. Yes, I did on the YouTubes, and then I'll get the link. I'll get the link for everybody. I put up a segment from yesterday, so if you want to go and help out the old. So that's I did a big fart. Anyway. Yes, you can go and like the video and leave a comment and just generally tell me how fucking sexy I look with my haircut. That's the thing you can do. So, I'm doing the big shop. At this time of night, you're a madman. Surviving the dumbest timeline, true. I mean, literally fucking true. Thank you, Plexican, for resubscribing with Prime. 52 months. Sort yourselves the fuck out. But you're a legend, nonetheless. Yes. Right, we've got question time coming up. It's literally already queued up. It technically has already started. But I can't pre-watch it because I'm watching this now with you. So, you know. But one thing I did just want to bring to your attention, as actually something of an addendum, I suppose, to the video that I've just laid there for you. Where are we? But, oh, for fuck's sake, you little cockhead. Why does it do this to me, chat? Why does it decide to finger me when I'm not even into that, really, at all? Right, so little aside here. In the video I mentioned that Zara Sultana is not a big figure in the Your Party movement thing, and this goes to show it. They put out a statement, the MPs of Your Party, a statement from the Independence Alliance regarding Sami Hamdi, which is a very interesting and worthwhile thing to do, because there's a British journalist who's been detained by the American fascist government for daring to oppose the old genocide in the Middle East, etc. And she's not on it. The other 5 signed it, but she didn't. And I know she would have done had she been asked to. She's not really a figure in that party, is she? Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd bring that to you, just as a sort of extra little snippet. Anyway, chat. If you enjoy my content, and why would you not enjoy my content? It's amazing. You can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages, 200 bitty bits or more gets you a text to speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. $2 or more gets you a text to speech. You can help me out on Patreon and PayPal. It really helps. You can... what else can you do? Discord. I've got a Discord. I've got Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram and Threads. You can go and follow me on those places. If you've already followed me on the YouTube, hello to the YouTubers. And hello to Carl Brown with £2 there. Hi Kev, love the haircut, mate. Boom! A man of taste and dignity. And thank you, Fuzzmods, for gifting a sub to Peacefire Now on the Twitches. Honestly, it's all love up in this bitch tonight. I'm very much here for it. Anyway. Where was I? Yes, if you're already on YouTube, hello YouTube. You can hit the follow button, you can subscribe, No, you can't. Those are the other things that I went into total like robot mode there, and I just started doing the Twitch bit. You can subscribe to the channel for nothing. You can thumb the video up. You can hit the bell icon to get notifications, because apparently subscribing means nothing. You can become a member for 99 of your British pence sterling. Is it pence sterling as well? It must be. Fuck it, we're going with it. You can gift memberships at that exact same price, and you can do bits messages, super chats, which will be read out, because I've remembered now to turn the thing back on, the noises. Also, I've added a couple of noises to this. I've got...
Are you sure about that?
That's going to be useful. And I like this one. I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but I like it. That always makes me smile. That Spanish guy, or what, I don't even know where he's from, Argentina or whatever, laughing, cackling his little fucking toothy bollocks off. You gotta love it. Anyway, and I've added some bits to the football thing as well. I've got... So for the football streams, I've got some noises as well now. Appropriate. Anyway. Yes. So that's happening. Things are happening, chat. The stream is getting infinitely, by which I mean slightly better. What is this? Oh, 255 still working on his Mr. Man comic of Mr. Streamer. After breakfast, Mr. Streamer finally got to work. Do I ever put clothes on? 255, can I ask that? Yeah, that guy, Morinoka, yeah. Do I ever put fucking clothing on at any point during your... Or is this like... You just... Is this an artistic choice you've made based upon inclinations? After breakfast, Mr. Streamer... Sorry, Mr. Streamy...
We got him. Victory is ours.
Why would you possibly follow me at this time with this image on the screen? You're a fool unto yourself, but welcome nonetheless. After breakfast, Mr. Streamy finally got to work. Oi oi chat, briefcase wanker, tiny monkey, Adolf Hitler, etc. that is a lot of my that is my content, to be fair. Because 255 can't be bothered figuring out how to draw my head in profile. Kev, why aren't you looking into the cam? I am looking into the camera. Fuck off. Okay, this outrageous slander will not last. I will not put up with this. Disgusting. Anyway, I've talked a little bit about Zach Polanski and how I think he's a good leader and that. And one of the pitfalls he's not falling into, which is unfortunately one that John Lee Cromlins, Adolf Hitler, the Czechoslovakian spy himself, did fall into, which was trying to pander to Zionists. Now, what I mean by that is not that he was a Zionist or did Zionist policy, but Zionists obviously trying to weaponize anti-Semitism to try and back Israel's, genocidal campaign and all of that, to try and essentially throw up cover, to throw smoke in the way of people seeing and doing anything about that. And they were very effective in completely derailing his leadership and his potential run to become Prime Minister. Because he kept pandering to them. He kept trying to pretend that if you just give in and just give in and just give in, eventually they'll leave you alone. They won't. At no point will they ever do so. So the only thing you can do is that. Straightforward. Stick your middle finger right in their fucking faces and tell them to go fuck themselves, the genocidal cunts. That's it. That's all you need to do. Because it's the only realistic response that can be sought that has any chance of victory. And we have such an example. The ridiculous Zionist front known as the Jewish Chronicle, not really a newspaper of any note whatsoever, posted this nonsense. Polanski proud of anti-Israel Green councillors despite Hackney Synagogue's call for their suspension. Now you're thinking to yourself, chat, what did they do that was so terribly anti-Semitic that they've been a synagogue has called for their suspension from the party? Well, let's have a look, shall we? The wardens of an East London synagogue have called on Green Party leader Zach Polanski to suspend two local councillors who, quote, rallied against Israel in an inflamed meeting on Thursday. They rallied against Israel? What's wrong with that exactly? Like, you can disagree with that, but to suspend somebody on that basis seems rather odd. Presumably they must have more to it, I imagine. The extraordinary Hackney Council meeting was called after a joint motion advanced by the Greens and the Socialist Party to cut the borough's ties with what they called a genocidal Israel. And the reason, if you don't mind me saying, Jewish Chronicle, that they decided to call it genocidal is because it's doing a genocide. And has been for some time. At the meeting, Green councillor Zoe Garbett, who seconded the motion, said, quote, I want to be really clear what we are talking about today. A genocide. Apartheid. a system of oppression and domination against the Palestinian people, unquote. So, I mean, so far she's just telling the truth. So, I'm not seeing what's suspension worthy here. She went on to say that the destruction of residential parts of Gaza during the war was, quote, by design, unquote, because it was, and the claim that the, quote, Israeli military strategy is known to involve large-scale destruction of civilian infrastructure, unquote. I mean, if it wasn't a targeted, coordinated effort, they have done a ridiculous accidental job of destroying all of the buildings of Gaza. It would be quite an oopsie-daisy if they accidentally bombed every fucking residential building, as well as destroying every hospital and every university, and deliberately mining and destroying the Palestinian parliament building, even though they literally admitted themselves there were no tunnels under that building. Anyway, Labour councillor Michael Desmond countered the motion to divest, citing the fact that it was proposed shortly after Manchester's Heaton Park synagogue attack. Look, if you're a Jewish person in the UK or anywhere else, know this. If anything bad happens to you, at all, for any reason, Zionists will happily fuck your corpse for political benefit. Either metaphorically or literally. They will do that. They don't care about you. They never have and they never fucking will. You are merely a tool, a conduit, to get to their preferred political end. Your death can and will be used for their political ends, regardless of your wishes or your family's wishes. What the fuck has the Heaton Park synagogue attack got to do with the business dealings of Hackney Borough Council, exactly? I'm sorry, I didn't realise that the Hackney budget was dictated by the ongoings of Manchester. The fuck are you talking about? How is that? Look, you say that's a counter to the motion to divest. How is it a counter? That's not a counter to anything. That's just a disgusting abuse of two dead Jewish people, you sick bastards. Green councillor Alistair Binney Lubbock, lovely name by the way, although I'm not a fan of the double-barrelled name, but that's quite melodic. Backing the motion, then launched what Desmond later called, quote, an inflamed speech after the need to cut ties with Israel. Sorry, about the need to cut ties with Israel. Shouting across the chamber that, quote, there are only two sides, pro-genocide and anti-genocide, unquote. And swearing several times, well, fuck me sideways, you cunt bag.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt.
Wank!
I think those are all of the swears I have on the soundboard. Go fuck yourself. We're talking about, like, genocide and apartheid and death, and your man's even bringing up a terrorist attack that isn't relevant. You want to be, like, all prissy. They swore several times. Literally go fuck yourself. What? The fiery scenes prompted Desmond, along with Hackney and East London synagogue workers Stephen Brooke and Ronnie Barden, to write to Green Party leader Zach Polanski, calling on him to take disciplinary action against Garbutt and Binney Lubbock. So they wrote this letter to him, and his response I thought was quite good. Where is it? My comment? ? I'm proud of Green councillors that are doing everything they can to bring attention to stopping the genocide. That's all that needs to be said. That's all that needs to be said. Not only is there nothing condemnable in what any of these people said or did, it's certainly not suspension worthy. That's ludicrous as a suggestion. What they said was absolutely true and righteous. So the only response is not to go, well, we're going to go through an independent review and get some obviously biased fucking lunatics to suggest that we get rid of these people because, heaven forbid, we have any criticism of this one foreign country. No, heaven forbid. We can't possibly criticise this government who are doing a genocide. No, that'd be terrible. No, the only answer is to say, yeah, no, I'm proud of those guys. Yeah, they're fucking awesome. Good lad. Honestly, I knew he was the right man for the job. You get the Kev seal of approval for what that's worth. Yeah, long may it continue. It's the only answer that's necessary in these times. When the genociders come for you, time to go fuck themselves. It's the only answer they deserve. Anyway, talking of answers, question time! We're flying solo tonight, chat. We've been abandoned. We've been abandoned by No Justice Marjorie Taylor Greene, who would rather go and have a social life and travel the world and go and play a card game that she really likes and engage in social activities in real life. It's disgusting.
It's a fucking disgrace.
So yeah, it's just you and I tonight, chat. Let's go.
For tonight's question time, we've come to Bradford in West Yorkshire. Our audience, as always, reflects the electoral picture across the nation. Welcome to Question Time on the BBC News Channel, iPlayer and Sounds. On tonight's panel, the Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy, who's taken on some of the country's
I don't need to speak anymore. The soundboard does it for me.
biggest institutions, including the BBC. Making her Question Time debut, Harriet Cross, the Conservative MP for Gordon and Buchan in Aberdeen.
Who the fuck are you? Who are you?
Who was born just down the road from here in Harrogate. Matt Goodwin is a former academic who's written about immigration and the rise of the radical right.
He's also a bought and paid for Reform member, so, you know, might want to mention that at some point.
He supports Reform UK and presents a show.
Because you didn't mention that earlier. Notice how Faiza Shaheen, the leftist, is an activist, whereas Matt Goodwin is an author and academic. He's not an activist at all. Very normal.
On GB News, Faiza Shaheen is an author and economist.
Go on, lass.
As a Labour candidate, then as an independent after being deselected. She now campaigns for higher taxes.
She's one of the fleas that was told that they could leave, but are now being shamed for leaving. Cray cray.
For the super rich. Good evening. Welcome to our panellists. Welcome to our audience here in Bradford. Very nice to see you. Thank you for coming along this evening. And, of course, welcome to you at home. Thank you for watching the programme. You can join in the conversation on social media, or you can just sit back and see what happens here. Whatever you choose. Right, let's take our first question, which is from Danish Mahmood.
Good evening, panel. Where should we house asylum seekers?
At Buckingham Palace. Or actually at the former Prince Andrew's Royal Lodge. Because he's getting kicked the fuck out. Unfortunately, he's not yet going to jail, so it's not justice in any sense. But he will be stripped of his title of Prince and made to move out of the lodge. So house him there. That's a nice big place. Look at that. You could fit hundreds of people in that.
Right, well, the government plan to house a...
Talking of the nonce's house, this is amazing. According to... Hang on, where is it? There we go. According to YouGov polling, The Labour Party, or should I say Keir Starmer's government, are less popular than noted paedophile Prince Andrew. Just really let that statistic sink in for a second, chat. It's close, but Andrew just edges out Labour with an approval rating of 13%. For a start off, who the fuck has 13%? Who are these 13% who approve of the paedophile? Like, even if he hadn't done paedophilia, what important thing has he ever done? Bizarre shit. Anyway, yeah, the Labour government are now literally less popular than Andrew Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Spectacular work. Forensic. Really.
Asylum seekers in 2 military sites. That's the new plan. One in Inverness and one in East Sussex. Lisa.
Well, I come from a town where we were some of the earliest places to get asylum hotels under the last government, and it's been an absolute disaster. We've had people, very vulnerable people in our town who've been put there with no notice to the local community, to the police, to the members of parliament, to the council. We've had far-right racists outside protecting.
Don't talk about the Prime Minister like that. You're supposed to defend him.
We've had a media circus come to town when people are trying to go about their daily lives, and we've had people being locked into their hotel rooms and confined to their rooms for many, many hours at a time, and left there.
And of course, thank you for doing the school check on Harriet Cross, because she's introduced as, oh, she comes from just down the road. She's from Harrogate and that. Ah, she's a real northern lass. Except, of course, she went to Imperial College London and attended the, where is it? Boom. Bandon Grammar School. It's a boarding school in Ireland. Yeah. Right northern.
There for a really long time with no real hope of getting a decision on their asylum claim and either being able to move on with their lives, work, contribute to the UK, or being removed from the UK if they've got no right to be here. So
what makes you think it's going to be any different with these barracks? I mean, Labour was very...
Yes, I can hear you, Clem H. Fandango. Last year, they housed some asylum seekers at Pontins Holiday Park. Is that a human rights violation? Yeah. When clearly Butlins is a lot better. Or Haven. I used to love a Haven holiday. The Haven Caravan Park in Great Yarmouth. Loved it, mate. Yarmouth will always hold a special place in my heart. Hello there, Sarah Dav. Welcome to the Kevolution, my friend.
Critical about the Conservatives when they put...
I mean, the actual thing here is, it doesn't matter what any of these fuckers do in government, right? Because the people who are annoyed that the immigrants are being housed in hotels will be just as annoyed if they're housed in houses or flats or abandoned office buildings or military sites, like is the current plan. That what they want is literally to just have them executed on TV. Or to make them run through some sort of fucking... what was that Japanese guy? The TV show, the Takeshi's Castle. To have them run a fucking Takeshi's Castle gauntlet of like fucking crocodile pits and stuff and have them chewed up. Or just trebuchet them back across the channel. That's what they want. Because they're sick, evil bastards. They're the kind of people who'll thumb up a fucking a meme on Facebook that says we should have guns set up on the White Cliffs of Dover to just shoot the boats out of the water. That's what these evil cunts want. Again, I just talked about Zach Polanski not pandering to people who don't have his or the party's best interests at heart. They're just trying to scupper him. So don't pander to them. They're not interested. They're never going to vote for you. And that's the problem that the Labour Party is finding itself in now. They're pandering to people for whom there is no solution that would be actually legal or moral. They're trying to win the votes of people who think that Keir Starmer is a pedophile. That's it. You're never going to win those people round. So why are you trying? Why not just have an actually decent and humane policy towards this that might get some people to vote for you? Maybe. Did I see a rogue MTG in chat? Or have I made that up? Did I? Have I gone mad? Oh, there they are in the YouTube. Everyone follow No Justice MTG. Much love. I spent a lot of my childhood on Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. Well, we may have bumped into one another, No Justice, at some point. Although I don't even know why I'm giving you the time of day. You've abandoned me. Everyone boo No Justice in chat for abandoning me. Even though she specifically sought me out to talk yesterday. When she needn't have bothered. She could have just not. She could have just done her own fucking thing. But she sought me out. And that, you know what? That touches me deep down inside. And not in the way that I do with, you know, various things. Which you can make happen, chat, if you give me money on Twitter. Not on Twitter, on Twitch. Thank you, 255AD, with a 10 stream streak. I don't know why this has become a fucking thing, but it's annoying me now. I know you're all on fucking long ass streaks. You're here every day, and it's beautiful, and I thank you for that. But what does telling me you've been here for 10? You've been here for way more than fucking 10 streams. What? Death to America.
People in army barracks, and the barracks in Inverness, for example, is right in the middle of the city.
Well, look,
so how is that different from being a hotel in the middle of the city?
The point that I was trying to make was that, first of all, we need to learn from the mess and the chaos that has been created. And the biggest lesson of all to take from that is, why did we have an explosion in the number of asylum hotels in the country? Why did we have all this strife and division in communities? It's because the last government...
I said boo, and one person booed. You are a terrible audience. Honest to God. We'll wait. We'll wait until you all boo No Justice MTG. She doesn't deserve it. It won't make any difference. But I'm annoyed that you won't follow my diktat. Okay? I am your fucking king.
Effectively gave up on processing asylum claims. So you've got people languishing for years who could contribute to our country, and you've got all this chaos going on in communities. The single biggest thing that we've done that will make a difference to that is to process...
Oh, that's a great reference point. Fucking boo! The Scottish guy, hang on. No, there's the actual clip. Well, this is just a comedian.
Jennying Jordan donated $2. B-O-O, 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 B-O-O.
Because you gave me the stream deck is the only reason you're not getting permit for that. I will allow you to slightly take the piss. What? I don't know what this stream is anymore.
Fucking! Boo!
But that's actually from a clip. There was an actual Scottish football fan. It was a viral clip of a Scottish football fan who literally had that. He was like, fucking boo! Like, it was so funny. Because he was so angry, but couldn't... He was so angry he couldn't think of anything else to say. Oh. You've drank with Fred Macaulay. I'm not even jealous. I'm not even jealous.
Asylum claims again. We've doubled the rate at which those...
Oh,
what is newscast?
Fucking kill me.
We've had some success with that. We've had the fastest growth in the G7. We've seen interest
Oh,
rates...
for fuck... now it's skipped forward like half an hour. I don't give a fuck about any of these cunts. Hang on a minute, hang on. No.
Asylum claims. So...
Oh, there we go. Worker.
So you've got people languishing for years who could contribute to our country, and you've got all this chaos going on in communities. The single biggest
hello,
thing
Andrew
that
Luke.
we've done...
By the way, Andrew Luke, I watched your video earlier. Very fucking funny. Everyone, post your links in the Twitch and the YouTubes for your video and your channel and that. It was fucking brilliant. One tiny note, clean up the audio. That's all I would say, okay? The audio was a bit echoey. Now, I know I'm not one to give, like, technical advice, but just find, like, a setting, like a noise gate or some sort of dampening or something, because the audio was a little bit off. But other than that, fucking brilliant. Some of the one-liners were fucking special. Describing Nadine Dorries as, was it 6 bottles of cheap Tesco vodka you found in the bin, is the perfect description. I love it. I cackled. I literally lolled. What they did Funhouse to claim asylum instead, Kev. I'd be okay with that. Bring back Pat Sharp, do Funhouse, do Asylum Seeker Funhouse. What more integration could you possibly need from people than doing Funhouse? Oh, I need to watch the Funhouse tune. God, that was so. This is such a fucking bop.
It's wacky. It's fun. It's crazy. It's outrageous. Funhouse. A whole lot of fun. Prizes to be won. It's a real crazy show where anything will go. Funhouse. Quiz is a race. Real wacky place. Use your body and your brain. If you want to play the game.
It's time for Funhouse. Wacky contestants, messy games, the Fun Kart Grand Prix race, and a crazy chase to win lots of prizes. Now here's the guy who puts the fun into Funhouse, Pat Sharp!
Only in Britain could Pat Sharp ever be a celebrity. Only in Britain. Much like the Chuckle Brothers. Again, only in Britain.
That will make a difference to that is to process asylum claims again. We've doubled the rate at which those decisions are being made, and to bring some coherence to that system where we were spending millions of pounds a day on asylum hotels at the height of the last government.
But you're going to be spending millions of pounds.
And they literally were planning to do fucking bottling. Oh, no, bottlings, pontins. There we go. Unbelievable. Back in February. The government has abandoned plans to house asylum seekers in a Pontins holiday park on Merseyside. Sefton Council and Southport MP Damien Moore had opposed converting the resort in Ainsdale into asylum accommodation.
On these barracks?
No, instead you utilise government buildings, you make sure that you can house people decently and treat people with decency because we're a warm, decent country.
No, we're
you
not.
Process those claims quickly.
No, we're not.
And then those people who can
We're
stay
not a
and
warm, decent country. Apparently, we're an island of strangers.
Get the chance to do so, and those people who can't are returned. It seems to me we just need to bring a bit of common sense back to what has been one hell of a mess over the last 15 years.
Now.
Well, it's always interesting listening to a Labour politician talk about common sense, because that is the opposite of what is happening in this country right now. Everybody who's looking at the absolute shambles of the borders, everybody in this country is paying £15 billion to accommodate people who are often breaking our laws. These islands...
Yeah, but that's just the Tory party, you know. We can't deport them, they're British.
...are known for having a sense of fairness. We created the idea of fair play.
Are you sure about that?
We created the idea of fair play. You are the biggest ball bag. You are just like shredded scrotal skin, my friend. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's, as national myth making goes, that's the most absurd one, I think. That's such bollocks. We literally ran an empire so that we could essentially steal everything from people. And now we run a commonwealth so that we can basically do so, but with a bit more trade. Full of shit. Full of absolute shit.
That is not what is happening in this country. We have governments, both Tory and Labour, which are incentivising people to break our laws, enter our country illegally, and, to be frank, putting women, children, our people at risk. That's what we've seen for much of the last week. From Walsall, Rhiannon White, the young mother, stabbed in the head 20 times by an illegal migrant from Sudan.
Oh, it'd be okay if it was a white person doing it, though. Be fine.
That's what we've seen in places like Uxbridge. That's what we've seen in places like Bournemouth. This is a complete shambles. We need to put the British people first, take control of our borders, leave the European Convention on Human Rights, repeal Tony Blair's Human Rights Act, and detain and deport anybody who arrives illegally.
This was a party political broadcast on behalf of the Adolf Hitler Particles Party.
Man here at the front in the grey shirt.
So the government clearly needs to get a better handle on illegal migration, but people who've arrived in small boats so far this year is 37,000. There are over 4 million kids in child poverty in the UK, and there are 4.5 million people who can't get a dentist appointment. We spend 90% of the political capital and discourse and media focus discussing 37,000 people. How much more could we achieve if we put that effort into 4.5 million?
Literally. And there's those people who go like, oh, yeah, we never talk about immigration. You can't even talk about immigration. All we ever fucking do is talk about immigration. It's ridiculous. Also, Rusty on stream. There we go. Salutes in chat, everybody. Absolute queen. Let's fucking go.
By far right, there's the lady, I don't mean to attack you or anything.
No,
Do you mean the general
Lisa.
public? That's my main concern. Because you are labelling ordinary old ladies, old gentlemen, every...
I don't care how fucking old a fascist is. I couldn't give a shit. Being 80 and being a racist is not an excuse. I don't give you a free pass because you've got a free bus pass. Fuck's sake.
Everybody as far right. It's trying to villainise people who are, quite frankly, terrified.
Imagine that. The people who want to terrorise people who come here on a boat are afraid that you might say hurty words about them. You're a bitch.
Yeah.
You've got hotels, all-you-can-eat buffets. It does not matter. I'm not attacking. Everybody deserves a roof and to eat. And that is a British citizen. That's as a Yorkshire bloke.
Yeah.
We look after each other.
Yeah.
As neighbours, everything. And we...
Are you sure about that?
There are no homeless people in Yorkshire, then I take it? None? None whatsoever? There's no extreme poverty in Yorkshire? Because you look after each other, you see. And much like the claim about how we invented fair play, are you talking shit? Do you think you might be talking shit? Because I think you are definitely talking shit, mate. There's nothing worse to me than like this fake regionalism. Now, I don't mind people taking pleasure or joy or pride in where they're from. That's fine. But there are certain parts of the country, Yorkshire is one of them, Essex is another one, where there is a particular strand of almost county or city-based nationalism, if that makes any real sense, where they think of them, they've made up their own mythos about the kind of people they are. They've made up their own version of their reality, which is like Yorkshire exceptionalism, where I say what I like and I like what I say. We look after our own, don't we? We're eat proper. No, you're not. You're a dickhead. You're a bunch of dickheads just like everywhere else. Just because you're from Yorkshire doesn't make you better than anywhere else. Okay? There are good people from Yorkshire and there are knob-ends. There are great people from Essex and there are knob-ends. There are great people from Birmingham, great people from Manchester, great people from Scotland, great people from fucking Cornwall, Wales, fucking Iceland, they're everywhere. And there are pricks. Trust me, you elected Rishi Sunak from a seat in Yorkshire. There are fucking bellends there. Stop pretending like you're fucking special because you were born in the West Riding of Yorkshire. Look, mate, you were born in a fucking geographically artificial thing. Yorkshire isn't a real thing. People drew a line on a fucking map 500 years ago. And then it was rearranged in the 70s for ease of districting. And you want to act like that's something special. Shut the fuck up. Be proud of the city you're from. Be proud of the place you're from. That's great. But don't pretend it's something fantastically special, because it fucking ain't. Yorkshire predates 1066. Well, I don't care how long ago they drew the line on the map. It's still just a line on a fucking map. Being born one side of it or being born in Derbyshire or Lancashire doesn't mean anything. Ultimately. Doesn't make you any better. Doesn't matter how long that thing has existed. Some countries are brand new. Look at the fucking nationalisms you get in places like Yugoslavia. Some of those countries are younger than me. In fact, all of those countries are younger than me because it was all Yugoslavia at one point. And they feel very strongly about their own regional things because it existed a long time ago before as well, you know? But it doesn't make a Croatian any better than a Macedonian. And here it's even worse, because apparently they think that the people of Leeds outrank the people of Bolton, and it's fucking stupid.
We've welcomed everybody into this country, and it's made Britain great. But when you are villainising these words by saying that we are far right and things, and coming from Labour, I grew up very much Labour, and I'm struggling to support Labour anymore.
All right, well, let's let her answer.
I'm going off subject.
No.
True, but again, I will just bring you back to the fact that you're not alone in that, chap. Regardless of anyone's feelings towards immigration, when they're literally less popular than a child rapist. Like, that doesn't make you special, snowflake. Everyone fucking hates them for a myriad of different reasons. Absolutely lovely stuff. Honestly, forensic, Keith. Forensic.
No, you're not at all. And you make an important point because there's an important distinction here. By far right people protesting about those asylum hotels, you know who I meant? I meant the people who travelled to our town with swastika banners and stood outside the hotels, creating such havoc that in the end, the only threat that the police assessed that there was in the town was the threat from those people to the hotel staff.
I think you forgot to take your sunshine pills today, Kev. I think I've literally never taken a sunshine pill in my life. I am the purest of black pills. No, I'm only joking. I'm in a pretty decent mood, actually. It's just regionalists annoy me.
and the asylum seekers. That's what I meant. I don't mean people who live in my town, including me. I bring my family up there. This is my town. This is my family, my friends, my community, who were absolutely incensed by the chaos that we were seeing around us and the fact that the company who placed those asylum seekers in the hotel did so with no regard to their safety and no respect for the community that they were placing them in either. I think that's disgraceful. That's why we're taking action to close those hotels and find a much more suitable solution.
I mean, there are...
At this very moment, Britannia burns.
People in Inverness are saying Labour's not giving them any respect either because they don't want people in those barracks, but I'm just pointing that out. Yes, Faiza.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to, I guess, look, there's no doubt that there is absolute chaos in what our asylum system looks like right now. I mean, whether you look at how slow it's been to process the applications or where people are living and what's happened in some of those communities. But I really want to pull you up, Matt, on this point about saying they're often breaking laws. There are, of course, some people that are doing things that are deplorable and wrong and they need to be deported and put in jail and the rest of it. But those are the minority. And I really want to highlight this because I, at Christmas, was invited by this refugee charity local to me in East London and was asked to judge a competition that children were doing. And honestly, these families, some of them had come through irregular routes. They want the same things as us. They want the same...
No, not illegal. Not illegal, Matt. I know you want to say it's illegal, but it's not. It's demonstrably, legally not.
Things as us. They want their kids to do well in school. They're coming from places like Iraq and Afghanistan, which most of us here have memories long enough to understand that we have a role in why those countries are in a bad way. From Sudan, where there's absolute atrocious things happening on the ground and we don't talk enough about. And UAE is one of the countries involved there and we sell them arms. So again, this has something to do with us.
Yeah.
And we should...
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. If you want to stop refugees, stop making refugees. Because people don't want to leave, by and large. The vast majority of people are happy being where they're from. They don't want to up and leave unless you force them to. And then they will. And then you have a problem.
Absolutely. Just push away this idea that somehow we should be scared of all asylum seekers because many of them are just normal people trying to escape very horrible, difficult situations and just build a good life for themselves.
Just briefly.
No, you said there are
there's a group of people that really haven't been mentioned so far, which is the British people. When did it become acceptable to impose an extreme policy of open borders, unvetted...
We don't have open borders, obviously. We're talking about where are we going to house people who haven't been allowed in. They're just, like, they're not citizens. They're being housed whilst they're being, you know, checked. And then they can be deported. So that's not an open border, is it? Also, how is that a counter to what she said in any way? He's just a little fascist. What can I say?
Unvetted illegal migrants coming into the country, nearly 200,000. On the current trends, by the next general election, on the current trends, we will have another 181,000 illegal migrants coming into this country over the next few years.
Those are rookie numbers. We can get those up, chat. Invite all of the people of the world just to annoy Matt Goodwin. For no other reason. Just every immigrant in the world should come to Britain just to piss this cunt off. 100%. That is my official, actual position.
You say they don't commit crime, violence, etc. What do you say? What do you say to the family?
No, hang on. Whoa, you're a liar. She didn't say that. You say they don't commit. No, she said there's a minority that do commit it, but that we don't need to be scared of migrants. You see how you just lied there, Matt? You're a liar. You're a piece of shit.
Family of Rhiannon White, the young mother who was murdered by a man from Sudan. What do you say to the family of the 8-year-old in Lambeth who was raped by an asylum seeker, or the 12-year-old in Nuneaton who was raped by an asylum seeker?
Yeah, I know you jerk off to, like, migrants committing crimes, Matt. That's weird that you have all of that memorised. But, again, that doesn't disprove the point that she's making. She already conceded that some people do commit crimes. Are you suggesting that the person being from Sudan is the reason that they did what they did? This is a joke. Oh, hang on.
Seeker or the 10-year-old
let
in
her
Stockport.
answer that.
But this is a narrative that we have, and if we talk about it, we're far right. If we talk about it...
Oh, yeah, you've been silenced. Yeah, you've been terribly silenced with your massive platform. And you're literally on the BBC saying how silenced you've been. The fucking victim playing is embarrassing.
We're racist. And by the way, Lisa,
You are
your
racist.
leader, Keir Starmer, just stood at Labour Party conference and said, if you are voting for the Reform Party, if you want to change this country, you're far right, you're Nazi, you're fascist. It's absolutely...
He literally didn't say that. I said he should have said that. He didn't.
No, that's what he said.
Sorry, well, okay, well, you've said what you think. Now, let me tell you what actually happened. See, the thing is, Matt, that I grew up in Manchester in the 1980s. My dad came to this country from India, and we were, and remain, a proud, diverse city that has been strengthened by waves of immigration. And I just say to you, I've seen this playbook before. I agree absolutely with Pfizer that the cases that you mentioned are absolutely appalling, horrific, disgraceful, and that's why in one of the cases that you meant that isn't a live court case at police investigation at the moment, we took swift action and we removed the guy from the country. But let me just say this to you. I've seen this before. When I was growing up in Manchester, my dad used to debate with Enoch Powell, and we heard the way...
And now your leader quotes him. Enoch Powell, that is, not your dad.
...in which people tried to tar every single person who didn't look like them or sound like them or come from the same place with them as somehow a threat. What you're doing is trying to create fear and distrust and division, because that's the only way that you and your friends can thrive. You have no answers to the very many challenges. No,
I'm not just going to sit here and be compared to Enoch Powell.
Let me finish.
Matt, wait one second. Both of you, just wait 1 second. If you talk at the same time, no one can hear anything. Plus, I want to make sure other people speak as well. So very briefly, I appreciate the passion you're speaking with. Finish your point, and then very briefly, Matt, respond.
It's the only playbook you've got because you've got no real answers to the challenges this country faces, including that list you just read out. The question would be, how are you going to do any of those things? You don't know, you've never answered the question, and so you create fear and distrust and chaos because that is the only way that you can gain support.
We used to be a country that respected people who played by the rules. And
when was this?
Are you sure about that?
They're going to fucking wear that button out tonight, I feel. Yeah, when was this? When did we do this exactly? At what point in history are you referring to? Because that's fucking embarrassing. You just lied again, there, Matt.
Most people in Manchester played by the rules. It's not about race. It's not about ethnicity. What's happening now is...
No, it's not about race and ethnicity. No, we just don't like black and brown people in TV adverts, and that's not racist. Shut the fuck up.
We have governments that are incentivising people to break the rule of law, to violate our sense of...
Do you want to, like, at any point interrupt him here? Because, like, he's spoken more than everyone else combined so far. You are the worst host of this show ever.
Fairness, and you are the people who are paying for that. 15 billion
well, let's hear from some of them.
Is how much you're
paying for that. Because there's lots of hands up, and I want to hear from some of them. So, man in the grey sweatshirt there, yes.
Matt, you talked about narrative and mentioned the families of victims of some horrific crimes, but a few weeks ago in our country, a Sikh woman was raped on her way to work by two white men who told her to go back to her country. What would you say to the victim of that family and the motivation behind that attack? Do British people...
Well, that's fine, though, because it's a white person, so it's not a problem. We don't need to be scared of the British people, just the migrants. It's a very good point.
white British people not also commit these violent crimes?
Absolutely.
And is your narrative not that these crimes are only committed by asylum seekers and refugees?
Okay.
Very brief. I'm interested in evidence. The freedom of
All right.
information requests that have been submitted because the government won't give you this data.
Okay, you're not actually answering his question, Matt.
I
You're
am,
saying,
Fiona.
what would you say
they
to the
accuse
family
you
of
of
that woman?
misinformation, but they won't give you the information about what's going on in the country.
Okay.
The freedom of information
No,
requests
Matt,
show...
Matt, you're not answering his question.
I am. If you let
Could
me
you just
speak,
repeat your
Fiona...
question so that Matt...
Oh, if you let me speak, I've only spoken more than everyone else combined. But, you know, if you'll let me say a word...
The freedom of information requests show...
Who was raped by two men
Exactly
who told her to go back to
exactly
her
the
own
same
country.
thing that I would say to the families of the grooming gang victims. It's horrific and they deserve justice.
So why didn't you bring it up when you brought up all the victims of crimes by asylum seekers?
Matt, I'm going to take it away from you. Harriet?
About narrative, and that is your narrative.
Best of British, lad. Best of British.
I hear your point. Harriet, you've been sitting here very quietly.
And probably quietly is quite a good word, because one of the reasons why the issue of immigration in the country, asylum hotels in the country, has become so toxic is because people do not listen. They do not recognise that this is in a really difficult, vital, but difficult area which governments have to solve. But because there is so much heat in the argument, because there's so much point scoring in the argument, it's so difficult for anyone to get out of the position that they've got themselves into. Yes.
And do you think the Conservatives are not point scoring on this argument at the moment?
I think that we have actually, in the last 14 months, we have looked at what we did, look at what can be done, and come up with better solutions as to what can be done in the future. And yes,
i.e. they were bad solutions while you were...
So you're getting giggled at still. Also, they've gone back on their pledge. Where is it? They made an announcement a few weeks ago that they were going to get rid of people's indefinite right to remain. So basically, if you came here legally, they were still going to try and kick you out. Here we go. Tories confirm Chris Philp's bill proposing mass deportation of people with indefinite leave to remain is no longer party policy. The Conservative Party has confirmed that the private members' bill published by Chris Philp, lol, the Shadow Home Secretary, is no longer party policy. The bill attracted little attention when it was first published in May, but it hit the headlines after Katie Lamb, as Shadow Home Secretary, blah blah blah. At a post-PMQ's briefing, a Tory spokesman said the Philp bill no longer represents party policy. So they announced this like 3 weeks ago, and now they've gone back on it. Genius. Honestly, Kemi Badenoch, Agent Badenoch, you have done some of the greatest work in destroying the Conservative and Unionist Party, and for that, I salute you.
In power.
No, not necessarily. I don't think that at all. We were dealing with a situation that was evolving.
Listen to this bitch's accent, by the way. She was introduced as, oh, she comes from just down the road. Oh, she's a proper Yorkshire lass. Listen to her. Have you ever heard a more plummy cunt in your life? She went to a private school, represents a seat in the north of Scotland somehow, and has the poshest accent of any fucker. And she was introduced as, oh, she's from down the road. Like she's literally a Yorkshire girl. Fuck off, man. Get fucked. Ay.
Situation where, for example, we suggested using barracks. Labour didn't support that. They do now because they've realised the reality of being in government. Reform will realise the reality if they were to come to government as well. But this is much harder than just a headline, much harder than just trying to set a solution that will get a bit of reaction from the public.
Leckers is fishing in chat, everybody. We've got a fisher. We've got a fisher in chat, everyone. If you want to gift a sub. Also gift a sub to them because they're Dutch, and the Geert Wilders lost loads of seats yesterday, so that's good. Let's celebrate. with Dennis Birdcamp. Dennis Birdcamp! Who is she? She's the Tory Minister for something or other. What is she? Harriet Crossan. But is she actually a thing? Is she just a random MP? Harriet Cross. She is... No, she's just an MP. Oh no, she's an assistant whip. She's an assistant whip. Which means she's basically nobody. Thank you, Davey B, for gifting a membership on the YouTubes. Much love to you, Davey B. Fuck yes. And thank you, Fuzzmoz, for gifting a sub to Black Rose PCS.
Oiled like a baby otter.
Although you gifted that to the wrong person, because specifically Leckers was the one that was fishing. But if someone gifts the fisher a thingamajig, we get onto a hype train. Which would be absolute sex chocolate. Thank you, Carl Brown, for gifting a membership. Fuck yes.
My source is that
No, that's the wrong one.
Epic dub.
I pressed the wrong one, chat. I'm a knob.
It stimulates the part of the brain called Shatner's bassoon.
Don't even know what's happening anymore.
Public. And we cannot do this by point scoring. We cannot do this by pitching one against the other, because it has to be a solution where communities feel like they're being listened to, the British public feel like they're being listened to, that healthcare and services which are there to support the British public but are also going to be used by those using the migrant hotels are being used and actually able to support those who need them, with British people at the front of the queue, because that's what is...
Journeying Jordan, you're not confiscating shit. You're already on fucking tightrope from that shit earlier.
Stop it. Get some help.
Whatever the fuck that noise was. That nah thing in my ear for fucking 5 minutes. You're lucky the trebuchet isn't getting you. Anyway, thank you, Marcus Drake. These subscription payments could have been spent on drugs. Well, they should have been spent on drugs, Marcus. I'll just say that buying drugs is better than subscribing to them. That is for legal reasons, not actual advice. Thank you, Marcus. Much love to you. We're not even on a hype train. We are on a treasure train, whatever the fuck that means. Apparently, participants save 35% on 5 or more gifted subs at level 2. Okay. You told me to boo, and I booed, and I gave you money. That's fair enough, JJ. I'm going to call you JJ from now on. Why not? It's nice. Unfortunately, I can't sub myself. I don't have a credit card or PayPal. Oh, okay. Well, we still have phishing going on in chat for anyone who's interested.
Needed to.
And do you think that the Conservative government shares any of the responsibility for the fact that we are in the situation we're in now?
Immigration in the last few years exploded around the world, absolutely. And
No,
yes,
I'm asking about the Conservative
and
government.
yes, we were not immune to that.
You've been laughed at twice. You've barely said a word and you've been laughed at twice. God almighty, the Tories are terrible. Ugh.
Coping so high. Coping and seething.
Anyway, bits and subs on YouTube if you want to help the hype train. Hype, 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 hype.
Absolutely, we're not immune to that. We recognise that completely. We did see immigration increase while we were in government. We've seen it increase again this year. Small boat arrivals are already higher this year than they have been in the previous year as well.
Yeah, but small boats is not the only type of arrival, is it? Obviously.
This is not a one government issue. This is not a 1 or 2 year issue, but it is an issue that we do need to solve, and it's not an issue we will solve by shouting at each other or point scoring against each other.
The man in the front in the blue.
Don't score points against us, please. Only a team with no defence says that. Just saying.
Lisa, on your opening statement, you mentioned about the hardship and the fear that the illegal immigrants in this country are facing while they're staying in very expensive hotels. Okay, what about the British people who were in hardship? What about pensioners who were struggling to heat a small house last Christmas? They're in a really, really good place. They're in a safe environment. They've got security teams. The people outside are all being accused of being racist. Are they racist or are they just?
If you go to the migrant hotels, yes, you are a racist.
Scared, and the bro.
Look at this woman's face in the back here. This the denim shirt woman up here. Look at that. If looks could kill, then that face would fucking explode this man's head. Look at her. Disgusted.
It's a fucking disgrace.
We're broken. Absolutely broken. There's talk of everything's a rise. Everything's a rise. Nothing ever goes down, and all they do is, if you don't like it, you deflect it with words to make up.
Stop it. Get some help.
The only thing that goes down is the number of wives you had, because you are giving me the biggest divorced guy energy I've ever fucking seen. Tragic. Thank you, KSO128. With 43 months. Absolute legend. We've got less than a minute left on the hype train, everyone. Let's get to level 2. And then I can finger... I don't even know what to... We'll decide who to finger later.
Us looking the wrong. And it's wrong. It's very wrong.
Lisa, I'm going to come back to you. I'm just saying a couple more points in the audience and I will allow you to answer. This woman in the glasses there in the front.
Do you not think that we should be more considerate of why they're coming here and we should do more things to make sure that they're safe?
Okay, hear me out, chat. Just hear ye. I'll say no more. You know what? I don't know. We know.
Safe in where they come from, so we don't have that problem after all. So, yeah.
Okay. The woman, you can see the woman in the third row there, yes.
Do you not think it was the previous 14 years of government that's caused all this frustration and
That's definitely one of the reasons, undoubtedly. Thank you, JJ, for gifting subs to
stiff dick of poop.
Adam Altogether and Leckers. Fuck yes, Leckers. For some reason, though, that was just out of time on the hype train, so no fingering. I'm sorry, little buddy. I'm going to have to put you back in your fingering sock. Loop. But thank you, JJ. Clearly, JJ, you enjoy me verbally accosting you. You clearly have a degradation fetish, and I'm very much here for it. I'm just saying. I'm more than happy to enable whatever weird kink situation is occurring in chat. This is the size of the Dutch ballot. Oh, that's mental. Is that real? What the fuck is that? Chat, that's fucking
like a baby otter.
stupid. That's really stupid. Look at all these fucking names and that. And your stupid language as well. Look at this. Voor de verkiezing van de leden van de Tweede. Stop it! Netherlands, meet me at camera 5. You've got a problem. You're addicted to stupid politics, okay? You're addicted to having massive long lists of things and silly names for stuff. Jizz Horncamp, etc. Behave yourselves, alright? Otherwise we'll just have to invade you. Don't make us do it. We don't have an army anymore. Exactly, Jan Venninger of Hesselink. Ludicrous. But at least they didn't vote for fascists this time, so, you know. They were very, let's call it, Big Bergkamp. It's like Big Chungus, but Dennis Bergkamp. Previously it was very small Bergkamp, but now it's Big Bergkamp.
It's them that's allowed these boats to come in all these years. It's not just the last 14 months that's caused this, but yet it's all been put on the Labour government and why it's their fault all of a sudden.
Okay, bit of a plant. You like my eyes? Thank you. I appreciate it. You can have them. They are for sale. You can buy my eyes.
I'm pretty certain that's not what I said. I completely reflected
that
on the
is
fact
the
that it has
previous
been
government.
an issue for many years, for many governments, for many countries. I absolutely recognise that completely. But things have not got better since Labour came in, despite them saying that they would smash the gangs, that it would all go away. It would...
Nigel de Jong is a good one. I'll tell you another one I liked from my youth. Argent des Yeux. Oh, disgraceful. 3 vowels in a row. Z-E-E-U-W. That's filth. Oh, nipple time. Thank you to... What, things happened, didn't they?
Like a baby otter.
Thank you to... we don't need to listen to that 10 times. I'll turn that off for now. Thank you, Alex Otter, for 5 gifties on the YouTubes. And thank you to Iphone for 10 memberships on YouTube. Honestly, the YouTube... I will suck all of you off. Why not? Fuck it. I'm in the mood for dancing. Look, that's just fucking silly. Look at that. Oh, Netherlands. Also, you can't call your company Civilized Car Hire and then have a Union Jack on it. That's just nonsense. But look at that. That's like, how fucking long is that? That's got to be about 3 feet long, that paper. What the that's mental. In Britain, we struggle to get to tick the right box when there are like 6 candidates. Fuck that. You can see that fucking ballot paper from space.
Stop, they would close the hotels. None of this has happened because this is a lot more difficult situation in reality to deal with than they were ever led the public on to believe.
All right. Lisa, do you want to answer?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that you beware of solutions with cheap, easy solutions to complex problems.
What, like smash the gangs?
Normally aren't. Smash the gangs. Well, what
Stop
do you
the
do?
boat.
Start negotiating returns agreements with people and with other countries.
See, what I love about that is that she thought that was going to be a belter. She thought smash the gangs was going to be like a real fucking zinger, and she was going to get a big laugh. And we'll just go back. We'll just go back, right? She thought she was going to absolutely torch Lisa Nandy, and the crowd were going to fall about laughing.
It's a complex problem.
What, like smash the gangs?
Normally aren't. Smash the gangs. Well, what
Stop
do you do?
And it was literally just the fascist at the end of the table that laughed.
Start negotiating returns agreements with people and with other countries.
See, why even have elections in the Netherlands? Just make Dennis Bergkamp president for life. Did you see that goal that I showed the other day? If that's not enough to make you president for life, I don't know what would be. Why even have elections? Just go, that lad looks like he knows what he's doing. Big Chungus fucking Bergkamp. Let's go. No, not Birdcamp. Bergkamp. Yeah, Vice President Mark Overmars. Belter of a player. Actually, you know what? You could just get that early 90s Ajax team back together as the entire Dutch cabinet. You could. You could have Danny Blind in there. Fucking Reisiger, Van Bronckhorst, the De Boer brothers, Cliver. Oh, honestly, I'm going to come.
And you implement those and you do the hard yards to actually make that work, because then you undermine that.
What about the other day, the one who got returned to Ethiopia?
Well, I was just...
What do you do, just give them all 500 quid?
Well, I was going to answer your original question, but I'm...
Right, but this is the problem, is that it would have cost a lot more than 500 quid to not do that. The ballot was so big in the Netherlands, they needed special devices to ensure there was enough space in the ballot box. The Wenger boys are Dutch. Make them the leaders of the country. You know what? I'm on board with that. Bengal boys are back in town. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So anyway, Prime Minister, what is your response to the immigration issue? Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room and spend the night together from now until forever. Boom, 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 boom. That's what we need more of in politics. More stupid 90s dance music. Look at that. They had to have fucking ironically ballot stuffers to go in there and press down the ballot papers to get them in the box. Ugh. That's very silly. It's very silly.
Glad you mentioned that, because that is exactly the point, because this guy comes to the UK, he's not allowed to be here. We return him to France for the first time. We've got an agreement where we can do that. Because part of that agreement means that we can capture biometric data, the minute that he turned back in the UK, we were able to detect that, and we've removed him again. And that is our message to people, that if you're wasting your money coming back and trying to come here illegally...
How many have been removed so far back to France?
OK, but let me just deal with your original question, because I think you did make a really, really important and fair point. People are really struggling in this country, and dealing with that means dealing with the poverty.
The Venga bus is coming and there are no lies written on the side of it. Yeah, honestly, the Venga boys would have been less popular had they just had like £350 million for the NHS on the side of the Venga bus. Because people would have been like, how can you possibly afford that claim? You are the Venga boys, and not in fact the government of a nation. Wouldn't have made any sense.
That we saw after, collapse of living standards over the last decade. It means dealing with pensioners who can't afford to heat their homes. It's why we're introducing free breakfast clubs. It's why we're extending free school meals. It's why we're cutting energy bills by giving people additional
Arson
support
Venga
to pay them.
boys.
That, look, let me tell you this as well, that people who are struggling...
Honestly, Arsene Wenger boys is a lovely name. That's what they shouldn't have been called. The fucking the Invincibles. They should have been called the Arsene Wenger boys. Delightful.
Are actually, in my town anyway, they're the people who are most generous to the asylum seekers that are arriving. They're turning up and supporting them, not standing outside with swastika banners.
I am going to move on because, I think we'll come to this topic again, I suspect, on further programmes. We've certainly done it reasonably.
But we never talk about immigration. What do you mean? Oh, we never, ever, ever talk about it. So how will you talk about it again? Every fucking week.
Often. And I want to try and fit in the other ones. So, before I come, Daniel, prepare yourselves. I'm coming to you next. Before I do, just want to say we'll be in Sunderland next week. Week after that, we're in London.
Oh, my Uncle John from Jamaica is a belting tune. My Uncle John from Jamaica keeps on calling every day. Just buy a ticket and take a summer holiday. Na 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 na. What the fuck do my neighbours think I do? Honestly, it must freak them out. I don't know.
So if you want to come and put your questions to our panel, go to the Question Time website, follow the instructions there, and hopefully we will see you. Sunderland next week, London the week after. Daniel Marchegiani, where are you? Ah, you're over there. Off you go.
How worried should working people be about next month's budget?
Right, lots of attention on that. So 3 months ago, the Prime Minister ruled out raising income tax, VAT or national insurance as part of their manifesto pledge. Yesterday, he was challenged on that, and he wouldn't rule out raising any of those.
Because he's obviously going to raise tax. Obviously.
How worried should working people be, Harriet?
Very worried. Very, very worried. And with absolute reason. As Fiona just said, yesterday was the absolute evidence that we needed, but this is coming down the line. There will be tax rises in November. That is clear as day. It's been clear for a long time. I mean, last year's budget was a year ago today. This is the 1 year anniversary of last year's budget, where the government raised £40 billion in taxes, £40 billion of more taxes on people, on businesses across the country.
Keep singing, Kev. No. Although what I will do is show you the worst singing ever. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No, hang on. Did you hear? Oh my God, fuck's sake. By the way, Lawrence Fox lost his appeal against his thing, so he's going to have to pay 900 grand to a pair of drag queens who we called pedophiles because, you know, he's a evil man. Anyway, he made a video, oh, not a video, a song as a tribute to a guy called Charlie Kirk, who you may remember. I don't know if you remember him. Anyway, and yeah, it's bad.
Lost from the single crack of a shot was when your talking just stopped and all the evils reawakened. Light became a glint in the night that seemed so far off. These crucial moments in time where devastation defines. We choose to live not by lies. They talk of just being kind, but those children, all their fathers now lost at the hands of a fool, paying the devil's dues. There's so much more I could say of righteous fury and rage. Your life was beautifully made. You came unarmed, was betrayed. Do we take a knife for his lost eye, or turn the other cheek to face you? There's just one truth, it can never be slain.
That's enough of that, I think.
And the impact that has had on our growth, on our economy, on the day-to-day lives of people in every part of the country, in every industry, in every part of their working lives has been awful. And this time round, they're going to need to raise more or less the same amount again. So what they did last time, where you assume they went for what they thought was the low-hanging fruit, which is worrying in itself, it's going to have to come again, and probably worse, because now they're going to have to dig deeper, dig harder into your pockets and actually get real money out of working people. And they might actually define working people as they mean this time.
Tom York has let himself go. Well, to be fair, Tom York has let himself go because he's a fucking Zionist prick.
Because last year they tried to trick us all by not thinking that people who ran businesses weren't working people, people who had jobs and therefore would have different job prospects, because, you know, you're going to put £25 billion of NICS rises on businesses. These are working people, farmers, working people. Labour tried to mislead us all.
No, the farmers that are being taxed aren't really working people. They're people who are very rich, who have bought land as a way of getting around paying inheritance tax. They're not farmers. Jeremy Clarkson is not a fucking farmer.
Last year, what they were going to do with their tax rises. They will do it again this year, and they're already setting the ground for it. So we should all be very, very worried before the budget next month.
Pfizer.
Well, I really hope that this Labour government focuses on...
Oh, Andrew Luke, by the way, another joke of yours from the video. Everyone go and follow Andrew Luke, by the way. Post your links in the chat. Was describing Richard Tice as, was it, Black Mould Jim Davidson, is... Honestly, I was howling. Black Mould Jim Davidson. Perfect. Perfect. Fuck yes.
Seen the very richest most. Working people, I wouldn't understand if they looked to working people, because honestly, that would show a level of disconnection that would really surprise me.
And
how many people
when you say working people,
Well,
who do you mean? But do you mean anyone who earns a salary, no matter how high?
Well, for most...
Oh, there we go. Show your fucking interests there, Fiona. Do you mean me? Because I'm technically a working person. Yeah, you're a millionaire. Shut the fuck up. True, Ben Sharp, true. Thank you to... Something happened. Verminsky for 5 memberships on the YouTube. I forgot to turn the thing back on, but I have now turned the noises back on. So they will happen if you do things. Can you take that back a bit? Yes, I can.
Working people, I wouldn't understand if they looked to...
Oh, sorry, blue mould, not black mould. The joke is basically the same, but yes, yeah. Very good.
Working people, because honestly, that would show a level of disconnection that you would really surprise me. I mean, how many people are
when you
really
say
struggling
working
with
people,
it? Well,
who do you mean? But do you mean anyone who earns a salary, no matter how high?
Well, for most people, even on, you know, under 100 grand, like a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet. Like my childcare bill is just under £1,000 a month. It's a lot of money. Some of us are still on those Liz Truss mortgages from the Conservatives, right? Like our bills are so high and people are earning money and looking at their bank account every month and thinking this is just really difficult. Meanwhile,
As if someone called Enoch Powell tried to come up in here. Get the fuck out, man. Honestly.
and this is really important, billionaire wealth and millionaire wealth in this country is growing every week exponentially. Billionaire wealth in this country has gone up 1,000% since 1990. Since 2010, billionaire wealth has more than doubled. Meanwhile, in real terms, wages, median wages in this country have only gone up by £16 since 2010. Think about that, right? So they're getting hundreds and thousands a week on passive income, on assets. We're going out to work, out of our tax bill every month. We're seeing it go out of our pay slips. And I just started working for this tax justice organisation. Honestly, the number of loopholes that are created for the richest, it feels like it's a
Now, I presume, as a fantastic populist, Matt Goodwin will agree with all of this, right? No, because he's in the pocket of billionaires as well.
voluntary for them to pay. Now, we advocate for those over 10 million, how many in this room, right? Over 10 million of wealth, just a 2% charge a year over whatever they have over that. And I really hope that the government is taking these taxes on wealth far more seriously and moving away, taxing the everyday person that is really struggling right now.
Solid stuff from Faiza Sheen. I like her. I don't think she's joined the Green Party yet, but she should.
In the check shirt with the glasses there, yes.
It's simple. If we want strong, good public services, then we've to pay for them. And that money...
Hallelujah. You can't expect Scandinavian social democracy with American tax rates. You just can't.
Money has to come from somewhere. And a lot of people are struggling, and therefore it needs to be the people with the broadest shoulders that factor that in.
Yes.
And then we transform our public services that have just been cut to the bone by 15 years of Tory cutbacks.
In the front.
And when the mega wealthy leave the country, who bears the brunt then for the tax? Because they're more mobile than what we are.
No. Then they're not actually more mobile. Well, we can just take all of their shit. They can't take assets with them.
I mean, just on that, that's a typical thing. It's done to fairmonger to scare us all. Actually, they polled the very richest, and 85% of millionaires themselves said, actually, we should be taxed more.
How many
and when you look
millionaires
at
have
the
we got in this
when you
country?
look at the data, when you look at
Loads. Fucking loads of them. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, millionaires in UK. There are approximately 3.6 million millionaires in the UK as of 2023. So, in case you were wondering, like, you could have looked that up yourself, couldn't you? You could have looked that up yourself and gone, actually, there are quite a few very rich people that we could tax a little bit more. And raise a lot of money from. And it wouldn't actually hurt them very much at all. Yeah. Well, we already showed this earlier, but never miss an opportunity to put the Queen, the only Queen I will ever bow to, Rusty, on the screen. Fuck yes, gal. Let's go.
the data of when they say people are leaving, actually a new report that was come out, they found that those numbers...
Rusty is a boy. Oh, they've transitioned. Okay. Fair enough. I misgendered Rusty. I apologise. My king. I doff my cap to you, king.
Numbers were fraudulent, that those numbers were made up, that most people have their roots in this country. They send their kids to a particular school. They don't want to leave like that. That evidence is just not there to support that argument. And what I would say, for those people that are looking to leave, one, pay your taxes on the way out. We need a new exit tax.
True.
And secondly, be patriotic. We talk about caring about being British in this country, care about this country getting better. It's only going to get better if we do something about wealth inequality, if we do something about raising more funds to improve our public services.
Fucking slay, Queen. Yes.
I mean, this is fantasy land. This country, if we turn it into the place that I'm hearing about, where we basically chase out wealth creators, job creators, entrepreneurs, while leaving...
Oh, there we go. See, the populism's disintegrated. Where did the populism go? It's evaporated. As soon as you want to tax billionaires, don't talk about the daddies like that.
The borders open and forcing the British people to pay for all of this. That's basically the end of our country. There is a reason why every European country that tried a wealth tax then came out and said this was the wrong move.
No, they didn't. That's actually just a lie.
What did they say in France after the wealth tax? What did they say in France?
Well,
they
Norway,
said,
Spain,
I'll give you the
France
quote.
is
They
trying to bring
said
it back
the poor
and put it at a higher
stayed
rate.
poor and the rich left. Wealth taxes have never, ever worked. Now, if you want to live in a society...
Now that's interesting, isn't it? It's not like he's a bought and paid for shill of billionaires and is telling you that because that's what billionaires want you to hear. No. That's what he really believes.
Where the job creators, the entrepreneurs and so on, and they all leave, and they are leaving. We're losing more millionaires, billionaires than the vast majority of countries around the world. If you want to live in that kind of society where you have to pay even more of the tax burden, while we're exposed to this extreme experiment of open borders...
It's not open borders. That's just a lie.
Mass migration, and then we keep millions of our own people on out-of-work welfare benefits, not giving them any sense of meaning or dignity in their lives. We've got 1 million young people in this country, not in education, not in employment, not in training, not in work.
Well, so much for your fucking vaunted wealth creators. Where are the job creators creating the jobs? Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hear people
So tax
talking
the
about
rich
that.
more and do something about it.
But we do talk about it on this programme, Matt, I
The
have to tell
answer
you.
is we are heading for an iceberg in this country, OK? Debt out of control. We have no growth. We're not productive. We do not have a dynamic economy.
So should taxes be raised or not? What's the solution?
Taxes are going to go up massively, unfortunately, and they're going to keep going up until someone on this panel is real with the British people about our debt. We're spending £111 billion a year just servicing the interest.
Yeah, what we should do is maybe get rid of the nuclear weapons that we can't afford and the extra $75 billion a year for the armed forces that we can't afford. Stop pretending that we're a world power, because we literally can't afford it.
On our country's credit
So
card.
can I ask you, Matt? I
100
mean,
billion.
can I ask
so
you
what that
clearly?
means is dramatic cuts.
Matt, let me ask you. You're not here to represent reform.
No.
You are a reform supporter. Can I
will
just
vote,
ask
yeah,
you?
I'll vote for reform.
If they were to raise taxes when they come in, would you support that? You said, unfortunately, you think taxes have to rise.
Because, again, I'm speaking in my personal capacity. What I would say is, because we are broke, UK PLC is broke. No one is really being real with
so
people about the scale of that.
So do you think taxes would have to go up?
Inevitably, whoever is in power. But over the longer term, you can fix that problem by doing the things that reform are actually saying we should do.
But nonetheless, you think taxes would have to go up no matter who was in power? Okay.
Reform,
I hear what you're
welfare,
saying. All right, there's a woman...
Make cuts to public expenditure.
There's a woman...
But not armed forces, no? Okay.
End mass immigration.
A woman in the middle with glasses, yes.
Yes, just taking up the point about an exit tax. We are the only country in the G7, apart from Italy, that doesn't charge an exit tax. Why is it that places like America, Australia, all our peer countries charge an exit tax on those people who make their money in this country and then decide, like Staronsky, the CEO of Revolut Bank, who's decided to take his money to the UAE, he's not taxed on the money he's made, but a cleaner is taxed quite heavily on her minimum wage that she produces. It makes no sense at all.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Double salute. Fuck yes, Queen.
In the white top.
We're talking about the billionaires who are leaving, and I'll shed a tear if we've got time for them. But what about the average worker, the teachers, the doctors, who are leaving because they're getting a better deal in other countries?
Shed a tear for the billionaires. Love it.
How worried should working people be about next month's budget, Lisa? I mean, the Chancellor is giving some indications. We're looking at tax and spending, she said. Higher taxes on the wealthy would be part of the story, and as I mentioned at the beginning, Keir Starmer is now not ruling out raising taxes.
Yeah, so the question was, should we be scared, or how scared should we be? You shouldn't be scared, but we will be honest with you. And we, from the day that we took office and during the election campaign,
The Labour Party want you to think that they're being honest. Sure, no, we definitely believe that you're being honest with us. Yep, definitely. Yep.
sought to be completely honest and transparent, both about what we would do as a government and what we wouldn't do. We said we would pull every lever at our disposal to make life easier for people. We said that we wanted to see people's living standards improve.
But also, you crucially, in regards to it, you said you wouldn't raise tax. So if you want to be open and transparent, are you going to stick to that?
We set out a number of taxes that we said we wouldn't raise, and in the first budget, the Chancellor stuck to that commitment and didn't raise them.
So can we expect that in her second budget
Well,
then?
look, I mean, you've been around long enough, Fiona, to know.
You are coping and seething.
That I'm the Culture Secretary sitting on a panel a month out for the
I
budget.
get that, but nonetheless, the Prime Minister absolutely ruled it out 3 months ago, and now he's not. I notice you're not either.
I'm trying to answer your question. I really genuinely am, because there are not just the people in this room, but there are millions of people sitting at home who are making real-world decisions on the basis of what.
But so it sounds like the answer is I don't know.
It's not just I don't know. It's we're having discussions at the moment about the fairest way to do what we promised to do at the general election. We said that we would start to get the economy growing again. We've had some success with that. We've had the fastest growth in the G7. We've seen interest rates falling, but people are not feeling it in their pockets. So we've put money up to help people with their energy
coming back to is the question.
We've
not
raised
raising
wages.
taxes.
We've raised wages faster in the first 10 months of a Labour government than in 10 years
one of the
under
promises
previous.
was not to raise tax.
Fuck's sake. It's so painful watching these fucking dickheads twist themselves up, dancing on the head of a fucking pin. Look, it's obvious they're going to raise taxes. If they weren't, they'd say no. So they're obviously going to. And to see this fucking lying dickhead pretend like any other decision might be brought about is nonsense. It's just lying at this point. It's just lying. It's not even just like waiting, holding off until the last moment. No, it's just lying. Because it's obvious what they're doing. It's obvious what they're about to do.
At the budget next month, we will be seeking to make the fairest possible decisions to make life easier for people. But I want to be honest with you, and I think this goes back to something actually that Matt said that I do agree with, is that, you know, if you want some of these things, as the gentleman in the audience said, there has to be a way to pay for it. Now, I will promise you that we will always make sure that those with the broadest shoulders bear the greatest burden. That's what we've done over the last 15 months. But you take the 26...
I'm just going to keep playing the cope bit until she stops talking.
$6 billion that we invested in the National Health Service last year that took millions of people...
We're getting off the topic. What I think everyone's noticing, Lisa, is that you're not committing to not raising taxes.
Can I just say that everybody else in Parliament, everybody else in Parliament, opposed that in the way that we raise money for that investment. Harriet's just had a go at me here for it now. But what do you want? Do you want the NHS on its feet again? Do you want families off waiting lists? And if you do, suggest to us a fairer way to pay for it, and we'll always consider it. But we're getting no suggestions. With the exception of Pfizer, I appreciate, who's made some suggestions tonight, we're getting no suggestions.
Fix the borders.
You've got to be honest as well with people that when you're talking about this money that's going to be raised at this budget, it's actually just a backfill. It's not even.
Can we hear her? No, because it's just cope. There's no point. There's literally no point listening to her. It's just cope. It's just cope. That's all. That soundboard is getting more fingering than Idi Amin. True. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, Mr. Streamy has done this thing. A Kev Kino. I had a lovely little dance in my kitchen.
For new spending, if you want to be, you need to be far more bolder in
Thank
what
you,
you're going to do.
255.
The economic system is not working for most people.
Well, look, I just say that, like, you know, one of the policies that we introduced that was in our manifesto was equalising the VAT system, because at the moment state schools pay VAT.
That's quite
and
a
public
small amount of
schools
money.
don't.
All right.
That's not
All right.
well.
But look, the question was, guys. The question was, how worried should working people be about next month's budget? And Daniel, you're clearly referring to raising taxes, and we've all noticed you are not committing to not raising taxes.
Well, I can't. I mean, I can't
been
write
asked
a budget
repeatedly.
a month out
No,
from
sure, but the Prime
the
Minister
election
did
on.
commit to that earlier, and now he's not, and neither
TV.
are you. Let's take another question from Ryan.
If you zoom in, you'll notice I gave you camel toe. Oh, for fuck's sake, 255. Yeah, you really do have to zoom in, but there's a little... Yeah, there's a little something going on there. For fuck's sake. I'm not showing that on fucking stream.
Armstrong. Where are you, Ryan? Can't see you. Oh, there you are.
Hi. Both Reform UK and the Conservatives want to cut benefits for people suffering with anxiety disorders. Is that sound public spending or completely unfair?
And Ryan, since you're asking this
It's grotesquely unfair, obviously.
question, what's your perspective on it?
Personally, I think that there's a spectrum there, and I think that there needs to be some sensible decisions made by the right people. I think there's been a lot of narrative around empowering people who might not be medically trained in order to make those decisions. I do think that there should always be an aspiration for people to be in employment, but there needs to be, you know, sensible decisions made around that.
Well, just to kind of put things in context, since the pandemic, mental health conditions account for about half the rise in disability benefit claims. Reform are saying that they will stop people with less severe mental health conditions, such as anxiety, from claiming personal independence payment.
Because apparently that isn't a thing. Anxiety doesn't exist. Says the science people at Reform. What a bunch of cunts.
The Conservatives say they would cut benefits to those with
It doesn't
lower
matter what the Conservatives say. They're never going to be government again, so it doesn't matter. They're dead. Tell me what the fucking Whig Party says as well.
level mental health issues. What is a lower level mental health issue, Harriet?
A low-level mental health issue is something like low-level anxiety. It's something that many people experience day to day. Some days it'll be worse than others, some days it's not, but it's not prohibitive on a long-term basis of someone going out and getting a job, doing...
Right, but people aren't receiving fucking benefits for that. Obviously.
better for themselves by getting a job, actually fulfilling more at getting a job. It's noted and proven that sitting at home, where if you've got low-level anxiety, not working is not good for you, and it's not good for your long-term recovery. It's not good for
They're doing this not because they don't want to tax billionaires. No, they're doing it for the betterment of the mentally ill. Oh, we definitely believe them, don't we, chat?
long-term prospects, and it's really not good either, therefore, for the country where we need people to get into work, we need people to be able to better themselves, and these people are not helped. They're really not helped by being given welfare in order to stay out of work. We need to help them get into work. We need to make work somewhere where people with anxiety or other sort of low-level mental health issues can feel like they can go and work and actually contribute, because contributing and feeling satisfaction from work is a really good way in order to actually help these sort of things. It really is. And the bill that we have for welfare cannot be sustained if we keep having people...
It is very much work, work will set you free, yeah.
...who would be better in work sat at home on welfare. It's just not possible.
Okay, that kind of support is expensive, though. I mean, it's a good thing to do. The thing that I really noticed about this, because last time I was on, it was the Labour Party, unfortunately, that was trying to cut benefits for people on PIP as well. So why are we always going for the poorest and most vulnerable? Is this really the type of society? Honestly, I'm not surprised that anxiety is up. If you look at the situation in society, if we think about the economy, if we think about how many young people are struggling to find a job and think about their futures, I'm not surprised that there's this issue of anxiety, and I think we need far more investment. It's not just about, saying we're going to cut the welfare bill. That's just not going to work. You're just going to have a lot of people that feel even more anxious.
Last year, Pfizer PIP claims for anxiety and depression were something like £3.4 billion. Yeah. Can we afford that?
Well, I mean, I think the point is, can we afford...
Yes. Notice how when the government wanted to spend, or is now going to spend, 78 billion more, no one asked where we're getting that money from. Can we afford that? Is that sustainable? But if you want to give even a modicum of support to some of the most vulnerable people in society,
Ladies and gentlemen,
can we really afford that?
Victory is ours!
It's not a magic money tree, All of a sudden the penny pinching comes out. These people are fucking scum. I'm sorry, they're just awful. Whether it's a fucking fascist actively doing it, or the fucking liberal media elite cunts, like fucking Fiona Bruce or whoever, doing it, ultimately it leads down a eugenics road, and that's exactly where this is fucking headed. We already have... Did you see fucking Lord Faulkner, the cunt? Oh my god. Hang on, did I bookmark it? Going on about... they're already watering down any protections for this assisted dying bill thing. Did I bookmark it or not? I don't know if I did. Maybe I didn't. Okay. By the way, that's hilarious. Fuck yes. Lord Faulkner, a man I've actually met, unfortunately. Where is he? Here we go. So, Lord Faulkner says that people with learning difficulties or autism could, with proper assistance, access assisted suicide.
In relation to people with various learning difficulties or autism, again, with proper assistance, they too can have that option. In relation...
So, only in the worst possible cases will this be allowed to happen. Now, I think I've made my position clear on this in the past. I support protections in place for people who want to assist someone who is terminally ill out of this world. Someone whose pain and suffering and quality of life has become so terrible that the best thing you can do for them, and the thing that they want you to do for them, is to ease their passage to the other side. That, I think, needs to be legally protected. But what this fucking ghoul is suggesting here is so disgraceful. This should be the end of this bill. This should be the fucking death of this bill. The idea that under this bill, if you just have autism, you should be allowed to... What, you should be medically allowed to fucking commit suicide? The fuck is wrong with this? Like, how much of an evil cunt have you got to be Learning difficulties. What does that mean? If you're a bit dyspraxic, should you be allowed to fucking top yourself? Or like, where does this fucking go, mate? Honestly, look, it's just going to end up with suicide booths. Free suicide for the poor. Let's get rid of them. Evil. And that's ultimately where all of this talk goes. Can't work? Don't want to work? Kill yourself. That's literally the where this goes. It's fucking angel of death evil. This should be enough. Honestly, this clip should be enough to kill this bill. Unfortunately, it won't be. Of course it won't, because we live in a country with a parliament full of the most pathetic, spineless cunts. Honestly. The worst fucking people in humanity get to fucking sit in that mother of all parliaments. And they'll just vote with the fucking party line. Sacks of shit.
Not to support people when they don't feel well. The point is that if you want them to get back to work, which many of them themselves want. I have a friend that got long COVID and ended up on PIP. She ended up having to work part-time because her anxiety got so bad and her long-term sickness. Obviously, she needs support. Her confidence is...
255 says, I have autism. Are you saying I shouldn't have the right to die? If one chooses that path for themselves, that's one thing. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about whether a doctor should be allowed to legally allow you to do this, or to indeed assist you in this process, and be cleared of any legal injunction. That's the point. Like, everyone has a right, as far as I am concerned, morally, to decide their own fate. And if that involves the ultimate action, that's up to you. I hope you don't. I hope you seek help for whatever issue you're facing, and that you don't give in to those potentially temporary thoughts on your part. But ultimately, it is up to you. But we're talking about a matter of legality and of medical practice. And autism is not a disease for which there is no return, or there is no justifies the idea of medical intervention in that way, clearly and obviously. That's eugenics at that point.
Completely shot. Her anxiety levels are really high. She wants to work more hours, and that's the thing at the heart of so much of this, is the sense that like people are somehow cheating the system. They're
Well, let's
not.
ask Harry, is that the
People
kind of
just don't
person
feel well.
who wouldn't get benefits then? Does that class as a low-level anxiety?
As I said,
By the way,
anxiety...
I'm going to preempt what Matt Goodwin is going to say about this. He's going to do the meme. You know the meme where the politician says, we should stop looking after foreigners and look after our own. And then a little sick kid says, oh, so you're going to look after me? And he goes, fuck off, you freeloader. Because they don't want to look after our own either.
It's something that moves along the spectrum. There is no way we can sit here and say this one example is one person. Okay, I'm going to put them on this side or that side. That's not possible.
She had to get a doctor to support her application in the rest.
Sure,
of
I'm just saying. It's just that these are policies that the Conservatives come out with. At some point, it's going to come down to individual decisions.
Well,
it absolutely is. But
I mean, this
I'm
is
not
from reform, right? This policy.
Well, I'll ask. No, but simply because I was
think,
talking to Harriet about it.
But the reform is actually gets so much of its funding from billionaires. Why isn't it looking more at taxing the rich more? And we've got to ask those questions.
Okay, all right.
True. Look at his face. Look a smacked ass. Yeah. Love it. Love it, man.
But let's also stick to the question, which is cutting benefits with people with mild anxiety
The
disorders.
first thing to say, just as an aside about reform, is it's now the largest grassroots membership political party in British politics, with
Which is still funded by billionaires, yes.
something like 250,000 normal people who desperately want change. And we talk about a group in society called the alarm clock class, who, when they're finished watching this show, they're going to go to bed and they're going to set an alarm, because they've got to get up and they've got to work in the morning. And how is it fair that those people, strivers, workers, taxpayers, go Monday to Friday, maybe even at the weekends too, working solidly?
Yeah, but we're talking about taxing billionaires, not the alarm clock class.
Generating jobs, driving our economy, while millions of people, often with very mild conditions, are on welfare to the...
Oh yeah, people with very mild conditions. It's so easy to access welfare. You know about this, don't you, you posh cunt? Yeah, I'm sure you have lots of experience accessing these programs. Shut the fuck up.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt.
Tune of billions of pounds every year, and it's the hard workers who are having to pay for that. And then I hear about, well, we want to get people back to work. At the same time, those people are being undermined. I'll say it again, they're being undermined by mass uncontrolled immigration. They're getting hit on two sides.
How is it uncontrolled if they're literally being held and processed, and then if it fails, they get thrown out of the country? How is that uncontrolled at all? You're just a liar.
They're getting hit on two sides. It's true. And the funny thing is, the difference between the left and the right, the left think compassion is giving welfare to as many people as possible. The right think compassion is ensuring that as many people as possible don't have to rely on welfare. They've got...
Okay, so you're in favour of like massively increasing the minimum wage then, so that people can actually afford to live if they work. Oh no, of course, no, of course not. That would be cray, wouldn't it?
Meaning, dignity, purpose. That's the difference. What we have in this country is unsustainable. Millions of people on out-of-work benefits. You're paying for it. Okay. It's coming out of the money that you're creating. They should be in the economy, having meaning, purpose and dignity in their lives.
Woman here with the glasses at the front.
Lots of applause there. I'll just let it play on for a sec. Just listen to all of the applause for Matt Goodwin's billionaire-funded speech.
As someone who's applied for PIP and knows how traumatic it can be to go through it.
Again, chat, hear me out. Just, look, don't shoot the messenger. Hear ye, hear ye. I've said my piece. Everyone has their own tastes, okay? Just saying.
I can guarantee you that nobody is applying just for the money. They're applying because they need it and because they have a problem.
She also has a cute voice as well. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. Chat!
Like, I have worked before. I'm struggling at the moment to find a job anyway, but it makes it worse being anxious. And I think people need to have a bit more compassion. That it's so traumatic going through all this assessment, and you wouldn't do it unless you actually had a need.
So what would you say to someone like...
And she's awesome. I'm a terrible person. The thoughts I'm thinking, I can't.
Just from here, Matt.
Well, obviously, I don't know your individual life story, and I wouldn't presume...
No, I wouldn't presume to tell you anything. No. Shut the fuck up. Question. The other day, Ben Burgess's... Oh, no, not this cunt again. Ben Burgess's channel had a stream, though without him on, okay, where they argued that you literally just can't have assisted dying until capitalism is overthrown because it's inevitable it would be used to eliminate undesirable people under a capitalism. Thoughts on that take? I'm not sure about that. I haven't considered it too strongly, so I don't want to give you too strong an opinion in response. But what I will say is that I think under any form of government, there will be people who will be quote-unquote undesirable for a number of reasons. People who are a problem for the government. And it's up ultimately to the people of that place and time to look at the defence of everyone else around them to ensure that those people aren't treated in the way the government may wish to. Because, again, part of the problem isn't... It's and this is where I suppose I've got more of an anarchist leaning to me. Reliance on governments to be beneficent. Is beneficent the right word? Whatever, anyway, nice, basically. Working in the favour of the people. Relying on that in any system, regardless of how well that system is set up. Benevolent is the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Brody. Relying on the government to try and be benevolent, when we know that bad faith actors are drawn to power. We know that evil people will want to do evil things. We know that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that partial power corrupts partially. And so it's up to the people to be engaged, and that actually I think is ultimately the goal that leftists should really strive for, is the genuine political education of working class people of their own freedom and protection. The government isn't that. The government can be a very useful tool for the working class. Assisted dying is always going to be a prickly issue, isn't it? Because it doesn't. The economic model doesn't dictate human morality necessarily. It can affect it, but it doesn't like overrule it or undermine or completely destroy it as a thing. I hope that wasn't too vague and rambly, although I suspect it was. My take is that you can't just limit people's rights to prevent them being exploited. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Anyway, right.
Doomed to know what you've experienced in your life. But when I see people with very mild mental health conditions taking £3.5 billion off the white van man who's getting up tomorrow morning and he's slogging it for 8 hours, I don't think that's fair. That's
okay, so let's not tax him, let's tax billionaires. We're not talking about taxing your average person, we're talking about taxing millionaires and billionaires. Who don't get up and drive a fucking white van, do they, you twat?
society is broken. It's not working.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying you're faced with someone here
and the Labour
who's got... Hang on, Matt. You're faced with someone here... Wait a minute. You're faced with someone here...
The entitlement of the upper-class white man there. He just wasn't going to shut up until she had to shout over him. Fuck me. He's talked more than anyone, and yet he just won't stop fucking talking. But he's been so silenced, chat. He never gets a word in.
I heard you correctly. You talked about anxiety. Yeah. Anxiety is one of the things Anti Reform want to say, listen, we're not going to be paying for that, so you wouldn't be paying for her.
Well, again,
Reform would not be paying for you. You're not...
My personal view is people who are experiencing mild mental health conditions should be in work or education or training.
And they are, largely.
Getting meaning, dignity and purpose in their lives.
Man in the suit and tie there, yes.
Yeah, I think it's short-termism. I think you're coming at it from the complete wrong angle. I'm a senior leader in a secondary school not so far from here, and since the pandemic, I'm telling you categorically, there's more children struggling with their mental health, and we tried desperately to help them. We don't have the funding in the area that I worked in. We had one educational psychologist to support, and I'm talking, you know, hundreds of schools really. We're not the expert in this. We're trying to help the students as much as we can. We'd like to see more investment in that. I think let's keep.
And do you think we can afford it as a country? Do you think we can afford it as a country?
We got to make it.
Yeah. Yes, we can. We're literally one of the richest countries in the world. Do you remember when they talked about the government spending 70+ billion extra on the army or the armed forces? It was literally never brought up. Where's this money coming from? Where's this money coming from? Can we afford this? Is this sustainable? No, the bean counter only comes out. The magic money tree disappears when it's not for military spending.
The choice, haven't we? Do we go from the pick a list who deserves benefits the least, or do we say let's invest in our children and let's support them to deal with these mental health issues?
All right. Woman right at the back there, yes.
I just want to say, you know, talking to the lady, you know, who talks about PIP, that she's claiming PIP, absolutely agree. It's an absolutely horrific system. And let me tell you, the amount of information that you have to provide for those people is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, they'll do everything to not give you anything. Yeah. As someone who knows several people who've applied for it, the fucking stuff is ridiculous. Do you really want to take money from poor Netanyahu, Kev? That's not all I want to take from him. But terms of service preclude me from finishing that thought. What do you think about this? Tax-free on everything, everyone's first 25 grand and 35% on every penny after that, but after $1 million, 50% and $1 million, 80% plus the redistribution. I don't think it needs to be even 35% after from that. I think you can have a more gradual step up than that. I can't give a duck. I'm for a far more tapered thing rather than just big jumps between certain things. But I agree that, I mean, look, we need to tax the richest more harshly and the poorest less harshly. That's just the way of it.
So anybody who thinks that people are cheating this system, I just cannot understand. I also, Matt...
And this is the thing, right? Reform in local government have proven that their national policy of, oh, we'll just cut waste, is nonsense, because there's very little waste there to cut. The Tories had the same problem. There isn't that much waste there to cut. So, as is the case with so many of these reform councils, they're having to put council tax up when they said they would cut it, because they said they'd cut X billion, squillion, gazillion pounds worth of fat from the system. There's so much money being pissed away on these DEI programs. We don't have any DEI programs. It's nonsense. All this, oh, there's red tape we can get rid of. Is there? Where the fuck is that exactly? And they've got into office and realised the truth of it. Now, they will never reveal the truth of it. They'll never accept that they were wrong. They'll just massively put up tax on people because they're the same. They're just the Tories. They're just the Tories rebranded. That's why so many Tories have found it absolutely seamless to just jump like the fucking fleas from the corpse that's no longer giving blood and therefore sustenance to the new fresh host of the Reform Party.
I've worked for 40 years, right? And got cancer. So I think, actually, you know what? I've paid in, my friend. I've paid into the state. And I'm more than entitled to some support from this government and from PIP.
Some genuinely based Chad motherfuckers in Bradford tonight. There's been one or two melters. I don't think I remember a briefacer at any point. Been a couple of fucking maltoids though. But yeah, some genuinely fucking some awesome Bradfordonians. What are they called? Bradfordians is apparently what they're called, or possibly Tyke, which is a person more broadly from Yorkshire. Bradfordians. Some swole chads around.
Well,
You're a Bradfordian, John. God bless you. See, they produce some absolute fucking legends in Bradford.
no, and thank you for that, because I think actually when you listen to this debate, when it comes down to sort of shouting and characterising particular groups of people in society, we thought this is why it's always attempts at reform to build a system that works have always failed. And when you start...
As they failed with Labour, of course, because you tried to bring in reforms and then you couldn't get through the backbenches and you're trying again.
No, what we did
Well, that is true.
No, what we did was we introduced a set of proposals and we heard very loud and clear...
It's pronounced Bradford. Fuck yes. Yorkshire is brat.
not just from members of parliament, but also from people who are in the system or have been through
Yes,
the
but you
system.
couldn't get your backbenchers
that we
to
need do
agree,
it better.
otherwise surely you'd have gone for it.
Look, sorry, I think politics would be far better if we could sometimes say, you know what, we think we got that wrong, and we're going to think again and do it differently and listen to people. Just to answer the question, because
That's true, but it wasn't because you got it wrong. It was because your backbenchers said, go fuck ya. Even this is too right-wing for us. Get wrecked.
you know, to get away from this thing about, you know, strivers and shirkers and all the stuff that we used to hear from George Osborne and we just heard from Matt, I think if you...
Because he's a
if you
Tory.
can
Yeah, because he's a Tory, yeah.
work, of course you should. It's better for you. It enriches your life. With a Labour Party, we
They're
believe...
just the Tories who don't feel they need to hide their racist power level all that much anymore. They feel like the Overton window has shifted far enough in terms of race relations that they don't need to not be racist anymore. But other than that, they're just Tories. Yeah.
Believe in dignified, well-paid, meaningful work, and because frankly we're in it together and we've all got to do our bit. If you can't work, you should always be protected, and there will always be people who can't work. And what sort of society do we become if we don't look after them?
But
we
do
have
you
to,
want
we
to
should,
cut
and
the-
we must.
do you want to cut the welfare bill?
Let me say this.
Yes, you do want to cut the welfare
Yes,
bill?
yes.
So what kind of society would it be if we don't support them, but you don't want to support them? No, obviously I don't want to support them.
I know writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
We want to cut the welfare bill, but the question is, as that lady said, how you do it. And actually, and the gentleman there, how you do it is you look at this group who are not the people who can work and are in work and are getting on with it. They're not the people who can never work and need to be protected. There's a group in the middle, which includes a lot of people with anxiety disorders and other mental health challenges. I met one just down the road from here earlier today. I met a volunteer who has had a series of health challenges and mental health challenges, who has been able to get involved in volunteering through the UK City of Culture here in Bradford. And he is brilliant. And because he's been able to get involved and make the contribution that Harriet talked about that is so meaningful, he's thinking about routes to get into paid work. Now, it's our job as a government then to support him. So one of the things that we've introduced with these reforms that we're making is a glide path back into work, because the benefit system is complex.
A glide path back into work. What the fuck? Look, even by New Labour newspeak, that's fucking gibberish. What do you mean by that? Do you mean you're actually going to make them paraglide into work? What are you talking about?
It's difficult, and if you come out of it, it's really difficult to get back in. So what we've said is, if you try out work for a little bit, you can stay in the benefit system. You don't have to go around it all again. So if it doesn't work out, you're protected. What that means is people can try without the fear.
Okay, do they still get paid from that job, though? And does that get taken away from their benefits at any point? Like, how exactly would this work?
That their lives are going to fall apart if it doesn't work. I just think we need a much more sensible, nuanced and human debate about how you solve what is a really challenging problem.
I'm stopping the recording because we have a breaking story which we should respond to. That's why I stopped you, Matt. Okay. So
Oh wow, we have a breaking story. Amazeballs.
Give me. So, Prince Andrew.
Nancy boy! Sweaty, sweaty nonce boy! I wish I could fucking type.
He said he didn't sweat, so why'd he pay 12 billion quid to a girl he'd never met? 'Cause he's a sweaty nonce.
But remember, right? He's given up his title and his house and you know, his positions and all the rest of it, and paid 12 million quid because of a thing he didn't do. Honest. Yeah.
The Grand Old Duke of York, young girls he like to poke, so he's pedo friend with traffic, then they pay them not to talk. Cause he's a sweaty nonce, he's a sweaty nonce, you know it's true, the Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce. He's a sweaty nonce, he's a sweaty nonce, you know it's true, the Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce. He's a nonce, he's a nonce, Prince and he's a nonce, he's a nonce, he's a nonce, Prince and he's a nonce, he's a sweaty nonce, he's a sweaty nonce, you know it's true, the Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce. He's a sweaty nonce, he's a sweaty nonce, you know it's true, the Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce.
Jesus Christ. Get fucked.
The King has initiated a process, so we're going to discuss this. Prince Andrew will no longer be Prince Andrew.
Why was there a hang on, is this a fucking panto? People went, people's respect. It's behind you. Yeah.
King has initiated a process, so we're going to discuss this. Prince Andrew will no longer be Prince Andrew. He will be Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He will surrender the lease to his home, and he will find alternative private accommodation.
Well, we've got, you know, we don't have that much space in our in his brother's prison estate, because the king owns all of the prisons. That's how that works, because we were a very serious country. He can stay in one of those if he likes, forever, and not be allowed out. Yeah, I'm okay with that and nothing else.
Lisa, your response?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a huge development and
it's not that
a big
huge.
step for the King to take. I have to say, just, you know, as an initial response, I really support the step that he's taken. I think it sends a very powerful message to the victims of grooming and sex offences. I used to work with children who'd been abused before I came into...
Hang on, how does it? Hang on. Right. It sends a really strong message to victims of sexual abuse that this man, who we all know raped children, is going to be free. He'll just have to live in a slightly less...
Stop it. Get some help.
He'll just have to live in a slightly less opulent house, and will lose some of his ridiculous, fucking stupid titles that he shouldn't have anyway. Oh yeah, I'm sure the victims of child sexual assault are really are loving this. It's a massive victory for them. He'll have to live in a slightly less grand mansion. What a horrible punishment.
Where are we going? Garbage Island.
I fucking hate this place so much. Thank you, Brad, for 49 months of Prime. Much love to you, friend. Sandringham House is a country house in the parish of Sandringham, Norfolk, England. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he'll just go and live in one of the other mansions that the family owns that they don't pay fucking tax on. Has Andrew lost his title? Well, this is from 12 days ago, so it's I don't know that it's that relevant anymore. But thank you nonetheless.
to Parliament, including many of the girls who've been horrifically abused by grooming gangs. I read some of the testimony from some of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, I presume also that Matt Goodwin will absolutely call for the imprisonment of Jeffrey Epstein's yum friend, and have exactly the same passion for the victims of child sexual assault that he said he had when he was, when he was talking about migrants doing that. I'm sure he'll have exactly the same passion and forthrightness and call for the full legal punishment of this pedo. Yeah, I won't hold my breath either, chap.
Not just at the time, but recently with news stories that have come to light. And I think, given the new information that we have, I think this is a really brave, important and right step by the King, and I fully support it.
Harriet?
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly a decision taken by the King, and he will have put a lot of thought in this, and I respect him a lot, actually, for coming to this decision, because family breakdowns of any type, no matter who you are really difficult, no matter what the circumstances are behind it. But to effectively do that in public takes a huge amount of...
Hang on, is she saying, I'm glad the King took this decision because it would have been easy for him not to because it's his brother? I'm sorry, if one of my brothers turned out to be a nonce, not only would I not allow him to live in a mansion, I would work as hard as possible to ensure he was in jail forever. I love my brothers dearly, but there are some crimes from which familial bond does not protect you. That's fucking gross, man. After all of their grandstanding all week about how much they're going to try and protect the victims of child sexual grooming, they're desperately going to try and protect them. Would you denounce... I denounce him. Marcel, please. Dharma's father still loved him. Well, Dharma's father's a dickhead who raised a genuinely evil monster. So I don't care. Honourable is not killing the mother of your children. Well, look, we don't know for sure that he did that. Okay? It was probably just a perfectly normal accident in Paris. Honest. Yep. No, definitely. Definitely very normal. Very normal affair. 255 asks, the King isn't supposed to be able to remove titles. It requires Parliament for centuries, but we shouldn't let Charles just do it on his own. Well, I'm okay with that. But Parliament already abrogated its duty by saying, oh, we're not even going to debate it. Because the Speaker, in addition to being the son of the founder of the Labour Friends of Israel and a massive fucking Zionist stooge, is also a massive royal bootlicker as well to boot. So that's, I'm so glad he's in the position to dictate how Parliament operates. Yummy.
Of guts to do, and I think for him to come to this decision is clearly right for him, right for the royal family, but I think also will be seen around the country as something which I think...
I would be perfectly fine with them removing all of their titles and indeed their positions. My friend Gil wants to remove slightly more of them as well, but if they just give up all of their titles and positions and money and that, I think we could come to a negotiated settlement. No, he's very firm on that. I could come to a negotiated settlement, though, about that. Gil, on the other hand, is firm. He's a principled boy.
The country will probably support, and there's been a huge amount of concern, a huge amount of anger about the stories that have been coming out and the ones since. A huge amount of concern about what this says about the victims of any sort of abuse.
How old is Gil? He must be a teen by now. That's pretty good. No, he's hundreds of years old. It was originally from France in the late 18th century. Became very popular.
So to hear this is good news, and we'll see how it progresses over the next few days, obviously. But it is unprecedented, certainly unprecedented, and it's certainly a step which I think a lot of people have welcomed this evening.
And I should remind everyone, of course, that Prince Andrew has always...
Oh, was it designed by a Scot? I didn't know that. But as I'm just talking about my imaginary friend and not a real thing, the specifics of any real life item that you might be talking about is not relevant, because I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a friend of mine that's just off screen. He's just off screen. He's just a friend who occasionally pipes up with some very sharp rhetoric. Who lived in France, so we are both correct, Kev. Yeah, Napoleon had a Scottish general, didn't he? Oh. Yeah. Etienne MacDonald. Etienne Jacques-Joseph André MacDonald. I think his father had to escape after some rebellion against the English and went to live in France. And he was still around and yeah, became a general under Napoleon. This happened a lot more in the past. People forget this. National, sort of pre the nation state, which ironically the French Revolution sort of brought the nation state into existence, I suppose. Or helped usher in that thing. People just sort of fought for whoever was going to pay them, really. There's a fantastic story of when, briefly, Napoleon sold Louisiana in America, the United States, to the Spanish. And then reclaimed it later when he took over Spain. But during the period where it was run very briefly by Spain, the Spanish sent over one of their bods from Cuba to run the place. And he arrived there, and it was a guy called Alejandro O'Reilly. It was Alexander O'Reilly. He was an Irishman who was serving in the pay of the Spanish because they paid him more. So he fought for Spain. He was just an Irishman called Alex O'Reilly. It was ridiculous. Anyway. Made sense. He could speak English, so send him to the place where some of them speak English, I guess. Yeah. Wives.
Protests his innocence and denied the allegations.
One of Napoleon's generals went and became the fucking king of Sweden. And that royal family is still there now. Now what was his fucking name? I've forgotten his name now. Anyway, yeah, they're still the royal family of Sweden. And interestingly, because he'd gone through the French Revolution, he had a tattoo on him that said "Death to Kings." And then when he became king, technically crown prince, but it's king. That's what that position is. You can call it something else, but it had the powers of a fucking king. Bernadotte. There we go. Yes. And then Bernadotte literally declared war on France. Which is fair, because like he said, if I take up the crown of Sweden, I will serve the people of Sweden and not France anymore. And Napoleon went, sure you won't, Bernie. Yeah, see you, mate. And then was really surprised when he actually served the people of... Well, served the upper class of Sweden, really. But declared war on France as the king of Sweden. Anyway, there you go. Little historical facts about things and that. Again, just because some cunt draws a line on a map and calls it a border doesn't really mean a lot.
Andrew.
Of course, Andrew, forgive me, force of habit, that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has always denied the allegations against it. And the King has said these censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he, Andrew, continues to deny the allegations against him. Let's hear a bit from...
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely innocent. I mean, I regularly pay £12 million of mummy's money to someone I've never met for things that I definitely didn't do. Who the fuck are you kidding, mate? You're a sweaty nonce and everyone fucking knows it. Oh, Bernadette's from your hometown. That's cool. Now I know where your hometown is when I look it up, maybe. I don't know.
Our audience. Yes, the man there in the blue shirt. Yes.
While I and many of the public here that's with me today...
So hang on, he's still going to... Oh, okay. So he's now moving... Oh, Jesus Christ. So apparently the King, through our money, is going to pay for wherever Andrew now lives. So he's just going to move from that very opulent place to a slightly less opulent place. And a less high-profile place, but we're still going to have to pay for it. Put him in fucking jail. It's where nonces belong. And as we found out from Ian Watkins, I'll leave it there.
Look at this decision as a positive one. I believe that this decision itself should have been made in 2019. And the King himself is responding to the feeling and the sentiment.
Yeah, I hear the Bibby Stockholm is empty these days. Put him in there.
And I think that's right throughout the country. It's kind of like, you know, trying to chase the fish while you're swimming in the water. But I do acknowledge it's a positive step forward.
But do you feel the King's kind of been dragged to it then? Is that what you're saying?
I think he's been pulled into a decision that should have been made a long time ago. I mean, once you identify that somebody's an offender...
Well, as I say, he's not been proved an offender.
No, I'm not talking about Mountbatten now. I'm talking about Mr. Epstein himself.
Yes.
Once you identify that that gentleman is an offender, you could...
I love him he's instantly gone, yeah, well, I'm just going to call him Mountbatten now. Fuck it. Now that Mountbatten, the cunt. That's lovely stuff.
All ties. And that should have been the simple decision.
Okay.
And his brother should have been saying, you need to...
I love it when the King and Queen of France, having talked about revolutionary France, when the King and Queen were arrested, they literally in their trial they were referred to as Louis Capet and Marie Capet. Capet being the surname of the royal family. So they were literally just referred to as Citizen Capet and Citoyenne, which is I believe the lady version of that, Capet. Which is the way to do it. I'm not calling you king. Suck a dick. What is this? 255. King begins process to remove Andrew's title. Okay, I mean, Citoyenne de la Dame. Well, there you go. It's French. Who cares? I can barely speak English. I don't know. Something.
Leave this man alone.
Man there in the dark shirt.
Oh, just to kind of follow on with that why has it taken so long for this to happen? I mean, as you said, this happened in 2019. The allegations were there. They should have taken a decisive action then. And I feel that part of this is just out of respect for the late Queen, because we know Andrew was her favourite child, and it's taken so long. I mean, I think they're a bit too hung up on tradition, and they should have just,
Really?
done it then.
This medieval throwback is too hung up on tradition, you say?
Family to take action. It's understood the King will privately fund any future accommodation for his brother.
So you're still supporting a nonce then, mate. Well done. Bravo. You sausage-fingered twat.
There and then, and we wouldn't be talking about it today.
Matt?
The key question is why has it taken so long? And around the world, men who have preyed and abused women, there's a reckoning that is now coming, which raises another question. Why has it taken the Labour government so long to give us...
Here we go! I'm not going to attack the white guy that we're talking about who is a nonce. I'm going to attack all brown people because of the small percentage of the overall problem, which is brown people doing it. Cool. Definitely not a fascist. No, it's fine. It's fine.
A national inquiry into the truth of the rape gang scandal, the mass abuse of white working class girls by Pakistani Muslim men.
Hang on a minute, Matt, we are talking about...
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt.
Even I didn't think he'd go quite that far. How is this related to anything? He's literally just a racist. What can I fucking say, man? It's okay if it's white people doing it to anyone else, but if it's specifically Pakistanis doing it to white girls, that's a problem. And yeah, to say it in Bradford as well, a scene of a very nasty kind of race riot thing as well. Fucking disgusting. Yeah, he's a fascist.
The decision by the King to strip Andrew of his title.
We're speaking in Bradford. We're speaking in Bradford. Bradford refused to hold a local inquiry into the rape gangs. Bradford refused to hold an inquiry into rape gangs. Lisa, when are we getting the national inquiry into the rape gangs?
We're working with victims.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
This breaking news is a distraction. It'll be on the front of the papers for the next few weeks. We have
Oh, this fucking fascist cunt gets to speak again. Brilliant.
important matters.
Okay, well, would you
Keir
like Lisa
Starmer,
to answer that
face
then?
the public,
Yeah, well,
please.
let her answer.
No, you're fine. But I mean, he's asked me about the thing that you want to
I don't like interrupting, but I've just interrupted. Brilliant.
talk about, and so I'm very keen to talk about it as well. We're working with victims to make sure that we establish that inquiry with a scope and a remit that will actually deliver justice. Having worked with children who've been abused for a long time before I came into Parliament, and having stood up for girls who've been groomed, and I have to say this to you, Matt, right? These girls who were groomed over a long period of time in many parts of the country, they weren't believed for three reasons. They weren't believed because they were young, they weren't believed because they were female, and they weren't believed because they were working class. And I can tell you, having worked with young working class girls from both white and Pakistani backgrounds who were the victims of those grooming gangs, you do us no favours when you try to make this just a party political
Lisa, no, there's a...
Matt, in fairness, you've made your point. No, Matt, you've made your point.
There's a fourth reason they won't listen to, because
there are people here... No, Matt,
called far right.
Matt, there are people
But you are far right. I don't even give a fuck.
here who want to talk about the issue that we've raised, and I'm determined to let them. So, let's hear from someone. Yes. Two men at the back. You're sitting next to each other, and you both got glasses, and you both got blue shirts. I'm not quite sure what to do about that. One of you start.
The only reason he keeps going on about the Pakistanis and all that, all these rape victims and whatever they are, obviously it's taken them that long. It's taken him that long to the king to do what he did. He's part of the royal family. If that had been anyone else, it should have been dealt with years ago. That's all I'm saying. All he keeps going on about is the Pakistanis. He keeps time and time again. That's all he's on about. It should have been dealt with years ago. That's all I say. It's because of the royal family.
All right, and the man next to you.
Fair dues. Not the most eloquently put, but fair dues.
My thought is, does this open up a debate for whether the royal family is useful anymore?
Ah, well, that's a whole...
Of course it's not fucking useful. It's never been that useful, but it's especially fucking pointless now.
That's a whole discussion, isn't it? And there's a woman right at the back with her hand up with glasses, yes.
Yeah, can I ask, if we're so concerned about the welfare of women, why we're not investigating increase in femicide, increase in domestic violence, increase in assault and sexual...
Well, because if that was the case, Reform would find it difficult to find any fucking candidates. Wouldn't they, Matt?
harassment, and why misogyny is still not a hate crime in this country.
Okay. Pfizer.
Excellent point. Also, it has to be said, the police are part of the problem. The police are the ones doing much of the fucking domestic violence and all the rest of it, right? Honestly, this soundboard has changed my life.
By all means, feel free to answer that, but will you also address the point, your response to what has happened in terms of the royal family?
Yeah, I mean, one word, finally, right? I mean, it has taken a really long time, and I think it's a sign that some people seem to sit above, you know, the law. And I would say, you know, the main victim here, the main person who brought this to light for us, took her own life. And I just was sitting here thinking...
No, I don't believe that for a second. Or, if she did so to avoid a worse fate. Because they'd already tried to kill her in that car crash. Right? I look, call me a conspiracy theorist. It's just, the soundboard is too much power for you, Kev. True. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you wish. I reckon they did her in. I think the royal family are like a fucking mafia. They protect their own. They circle the wagons and they do whatever they need to survive. They fucking killed her. Whether by terrifying her to the point where she felt that was her only way out, or whether they just literally killed her, like they did with Epstein. Because again, there's no way that was a fucking suicide. No one believes that. Thank you, Laundry Day. Welcome to the Kevolution.
Of her and these victims and the pressure of victims, all victims of sexual assault and sexual offences. And I do want to take a moment to say that every person, regardless of race, of religion, class, what family they're part of, needs to be held to account. And I'm glad to finally see this here. But I don't give the king many points. I'm sorry, but I think this should have happened a long time ago. And I do think it's because of us, the public, that it's finally happening.
So can I just ask, because the sense that I'm getting, and obviously I don't know what you all think, I just know what the people who put their hands up think, but so far the sense I'm getting is you know, why did it take so long? Is there anyone here who thinks, good on him, we took the right decision at the right time, or...
Even less popular than fucking Keir Starmer. Hang on. So, the order condescendi now goes, where is it? And it goes Prince Andrew, Keir Starmer, the King. In terms of popularity. Oh, fuck yeah. What a fucking country to live in, man. What a fucking country. What a shithole. Again, I have to play it.
Where are we going? Garbage Island.
You're sticking your hand out. I don't know what you think.
The reason it's took so long is because she was, Andrew was the Queen's favourite, and she didn't want things to happen in her lifetime. She knew she was elderly. She knew that she wasn't going to be here forever. So I think it was swept under the carpet until...
So she was, like, can we just time out for a second? Like, I get that she's making a kind of good point here about how it's the Queen's fault, but are we just going to sweep past the idea that she knows that her son is a nonce and he's still the favourite? Now, I know that an institution raised on the family values of Henry VIII is not going to be functional necessarily in a kind of normal ethical sense, but that takes some real, like, that takes the fucking piss pretty majorly, I think. But what do I know? I'm just a filthy commoner, a subject of His Royal Britannic Majesty.
It's a fucking disgrace. King Charles came in.
And do you think he
for him
deserves
to do
credit
it.
for what he's done today?
So should he
Do you
get
think
the
King
credit?
Charles deserves credit for the
I think
decision
he
he's
does,
taken?
yes, yes. And I think as long as Andrew isn't the Duke of York either, because he needed to be ousted from that. But yeah, I
You know,
think
he's not that he lost that title
no,
already.
I know, and that was the great thing. But I do think that Charles should be given a bit of credit because he's had to go by.
Which one do I play for this? Oh, we'll have some.
Jumping so high, jumping and ceiling.
What was the old rules of the monarchy, and he's trying to change it and modernise
Okay.
it, and I think he's done well.
All right.
We're going to change it and modernise it by pretending we're dealing with pedophilia rather than just ignoring it. Yeah, thanks, Chaz.
With the glasses and the dark sweater, yeah.
Just on that, I think it's quite poor that today you've used immigrants as a scapegoat for every single issue that we've discussed. I don't think it's a very good look for reform, especially considering the racist stereotypes around them. That you're pushing immigrants to the forefront of every single issue that is very real to
Epic dub.
all of us.
I used to work a lot in polling. You look at the polls at the moment. The number one issue for the British people in this country, it might not always be reflected in the debates that we have. The number one issue in this country is immigration.
It is reflected in the debate because literally this is all we ever fucking talk about. To the point where we can't even talk about Prince Andrew being a pedophile without you going, oh, but what about Pakistanis? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, mate? Also, polling is based on people's sort of emotions. And the fact that they've been a tidal wave of anti-migrant propaganda for years and years from scumfucks like you might have had something of an impact on that. Just saying. Also, to back to that woman's point, which everyone seems to have completely ignored on the panel, but if you actually cared about women being the victims of assault and crime and violence and stuff, why are you a member of a party, Mr. Goodwin, that was okay with McMaster, the MP, who's now an independent technically, but he was elected even though they knew he had a conviction for domestic assault. I believe he kicked his girlfriend in the head, was it? I think several times. And he didn't have the whip removed him for that. That was for financial chicanery, of course. So your party is absolutely fine with domestic abusers. So why the fuck should we think you give a fuck about women at all? You don't. You're just racists who want to try and attack brown people because of the actions of a very tiny number of brown people.
People out there are really concerned about what's happening to their country. And so many people said to me, coming into this, they said, Matt, can you just please put this issue onto the agenda? Because
oh yeah, no, people were like, we'd never talk about this. Oh, can you please talk about the immigration, please? We've never mentioned it. It never gets mentioned on Question Time. Can you please talk about it?
Because Westminster, notice here, desperate not to talk about it. Don't want to talk about what's happening.
They literally had 2 urgent questions in Parliament this week about immigration. Again, it gets talked about more than literally anything.
To our country, what's happening to good, law-abiding, hard-working people. We need to end mass uncontrolled immigration, control the borders, and put British people where they belong.
We don't have uncontrolled immigration. That's obviously not true.
Which is first?
Woman here in the blue top.
So much for polls. The poll that counts is the election. The polls that counts are the by-elections that have just taken place, and 6 more today. The number of by-elections that Reform won out of the last 13 was 1. And they were soundly beaten by Plaid.
Plaid. Okay. Can I just apologise to all of the Welshoids on behalf of all of my fellow Angloids? She doesn't know how to pronounce that. It's a difficult world. Okay. But God bless her, she's trying, you know? She seems like a nice person.
In Caerphilly, who basically won because people lent their votes to anybody but Reform.
Well, about 35% of people are currently voting, planning to vote for Reform.
Matt, don't speak over yours.
Yeah, thank you. Finally, she's like, can you not speak over people? Having spent the entire show trying to speak over people. I forgive her, but not you. Fair point. Fair.
There's no marks for second place, and one of your...
The only marks I won is Karl Marx.
MPs got elected by 6 points. 6 points. So the person who came second should say, well, I should have a place too.
Yes, the woman at the back there.
Do you not believe that the reason why...
Oh, God, is this another question for Matt?
Yeah, sorry.
Right, okay.
I just feel so proud to be in this room and to hear so many people really, fight back, this hateful energy.
Yes, go on, Pfizer, lass. Fuck yes. Pumping.
Okay, but can I just point out... Wait a minute, Matt, wait 1 second. Can I just point out there have also been people here who have supported what Matt has to say, and we've heard from them too. I'm really sorry, I've just been told we've run out of time, so I'm not even able to hear your question, so forgive me for that. Whew.
Sweaty ears. Well, that was fun, wasn't it, chat? Except, not really, but, you know. Fucking hell. Yeah, Pfizer did get the final W, so that's nice.
Epic dub.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see. I thought, on the odd occasion she got to speak, she spoke well, and I enjoyed it. I thought she made a contribution of worth to the discussion. Not fun. I'm kind of ragey. Well, to be fair, it's called. I don't pretend that this is like a nice show that we watch. It's fucking evil. Like, they literally have the likes of Matt Goodwin on all the time. He's they have fucking frog face cunt. Clacton's fucking least least visited fucking resident or whatever has a fucking season ticket on this fucking show. He's been on there 40 times or something. Ridiculous. So yeah, it will be ragey. That is true. If Matt goes up against Polanski or Stephen Finn, he's fucked. I think Stephen Finn would do him in. Definitely. No offence to Polanski. I'm sure he would hold his own, but I think Flynn's got some real gritty balls to him, which I really appreciate. I appreciate that man's balls. You can quote me on that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to edit the video, you dopey bastard. Yes. Did someone raid, or did we have 170 people naturally? Because that would be fucking dope. If someone raided, go and follow them. But I don't know, because YouTube's shit at telling me. Who's going on YouTube that I can send everybody over to? I'll go over to Katie Marshall on YouTube, but I will mix it up on Twitch. We'll go over to someone different on Twitch. Just spread the love around, you know. Who's going on Twitch? Who is this person? Hey, we'll go over to Just a Girl Lexi, who's a cool trans content creator on Twitch, who I watch on occasion. Boom! And I will see you all, what day is it tomorrow? Friday. I don't have anything planned for Friday, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of fucking nonsense to follow, you know. Yeah, and I plan on being on tomorrow, but I don't know what I'll be talking about. Probably fun things. Almost certainly not. Down with the monarchy. Up with Palestine. No pass around.